Meowdy meowdy, fellow gamers. Welcome back to the show. We're playing The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess and having a gay sex orgy on screen right now.
Oh my god.
Every video
How
game
are
character
we
is
doing
invited. Everyone from Super Smash Bros. Is invited. Sonic the Hedgehog's gonna be there. You gotta be there. You didn't get an invite.
How do we keep getting away with it?
Yeah, YouTube's guidelines just aren't as strict as they say they are. I don't know if any of y'all have ever tried just like butt fucking on camera and getting away with it on YouTube, but like it's totally possible. I'm not gonna tell you about my 15 other YouTube channels, but like I can guarantee you that it's you just
Only 15?
only 50.
Noob.
You don't call me a noob. I'm not the noob. You're the noob. You noob.
I must have more than 15 YouTube channels. I've probably got like 30. Not active, obviously, but
30. I've got, I mean, at least 3, 4 if you count the Golden Butterflies channel, but I consider that one communal.
yeah.
Even though it's tied to my email. Yeah,
I definitely have channels I've outright forgotten about.
Yeah. So I've got the Gigadonk main channel, and I've got the Giga Lists channel for my tier lists, which I haven't done one of those in a while. I made a gaming channel that I haven't posted to yet. It was called Giga the Hedgehog, and I was going to use that for like all my gamer streams, but I don't want to put in the effort to like, you know, my audience is still small on the main channel, so trying to divert like 800 people to a different channel for gaming content is like only like 10 people would do that. So
yeah.
I've got to build myself up more before dividing the channel into smaller channels is really necessary. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And then there's this channel, Slime Dolls, and then there's Golden Butterflies, so that's like 5, 2 of which are collaborative. Not nearly as many YouTubes as you have.
I don't know if it's ever truly necessary to split the channels as long as what you do is consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And like if people already have the expectation that this channel does gaming streams, then. But I could see maybe if like you suddenly had like a massive blow up off of like one style of video, then you'd be like, okay, now it's time to split off.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, if I get really famous for a fucking movie review or something, I'm gonna be like, okay, fuck it, whatever, I'll make a whole channel for that.
Yeah. So I don't really know what the hell's going on in this game at all.
Yeah.
Can you let me know what's happening in the story of this game right now?
Okay, so there's a bad guy named Zant who took over the Twilight Realm, and there is a magic mirror that can transport us to the Twilight Realm so we can kick his ass, but Zant broke the mirror into 4 pieces, so we have to go to a couple different dungeons all over Hyrule and find the other mirror shards. We got one of them in the Arbiter's Grounds, we got one at the Snow Peak Ruins, which is my favorite dungeon in the game because it's just like a Yeti's house. And that's such an adorable little quirk of the game. The whole dungeon is someone's house, but now we got those first 2, there's 2 more shards to get. And the next one, I believe, is in the Temple of Time, so I'm gonna go talk to the Telma the Barkeep, because she's got all those funny characters with her who are like the Resistance, and the Resistance guys tell you where to go. So I'm gonna go talk to them, and then I think they'll take me to the Temple of Time.
So does each temple have like its own sort of subplot?
Yeah, more or less. Like, there's usually some kind of little task you have to do before the dungeon. It could be like a side quest for Ilya, the love interest, or it could be like the village kids or something. I know there's one later on, like really like late in the game, where you have to help Ilya recover her lost memory, and that one is probably the longest. But for the Temple of Time, we just have to go through the Lost Woods again. It's just like doing a thing we already did, so that should be easy. Yeah, he's in the Southern Wood right now. It's because last time we went through the Lost Woods, it was playing as a wolf, but then this time you do exactly the same thing, but as a human. Kind of lame, but whatever.
Simon, I don't think you did miss last stream, because we actually haven't streamed for the last, or maybe you did, but
yeah.
It's been at least a week and a half since the last one. I got sick, and then like I was sick last Tuesday or Monday. What days do we do this? We do Monday and Friday, right? So maybe I was sick on Friday, Thursday. Why didn't we do Monday last week? I don't even remember.
God, I think. Oh yeah, Monday was Memorial Day, I think. It was something like that.
That was this week. This week, Monday was Memorial Day, and you were out.
Yeah, it was having a Josh Day.
Maybe we did do last Monday. I legit don't remember. Like, we probably did do last Monday, but we didn't do last Thursday or this Monday.
Yeah.
Thursday I was sick, and Monday was Memorial Day, and you were hanging out. IRL. Simon said the last one I saw was Desert. Okay, then yeah, I guess you did miss the last.
Yeah. We've been going at a steady pace of like 1 dungeon per stream, which I think is a good rhythm.
Yeah.
So we did the snow one last time, the desert before that. Which means it'll be... There's like 4 dungeons left, I think. This game is long.
Long, but not as long as I kind of... In my mind, this game is like 50 hours, because I feel like that's how long... That's probably if you do like everything.
Mm-hmm. It took like over 30 on my last save, where I went out of my way to do lots of side quests and stuff. But this game and Skyward Sword, like when I played them as a kid, I could have sworn they were like 50-hour-long games, and I just beat Skyward Sword not too long ago, and it was only 23 hours. So
damn.
20 hours feels like an eternity, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone like plays a game for over 500 hours and they're just like, oh, like Josh is like that. He only likes games that are hundreds of hours long. He says if the game is under 50 hours, it's not worth it. And I'm like, if I play a game for more than 10 hours, it feels like an investment. Like that's at least, if I'm unemployed, that's at least a few days of my life. And if I am employed, that's like a few weeks probably.
Well, it's interesting you say an investment, and that's probably exactly what he's thinking, is like, if I'm going to invest, I want to invest, you know, like, I feel like Shade is kind of similar, where he really Bird 2 kind of, where like both of them only really play one game for like a pretty long period of time. Like, they're not expecting to switch games regularly. They're like, this is what I'm doing with my life until I am completely sick of it, you know?
Yeah.
In Shade's case, he's been playing the same games for like practically his whole life. He's still playing World of Warcraft, you know? He'll still play... Like, I know he has thousands of hours in Terraria. And, you know, Dark Souls 1, like, I'm sure he's beat it like hundreds of times.
The sad part of games like that is people will invest like half of their fucking life into it, and then if anything bad happens to it, like if their hard drive gets fucked or like a power cable gets bumped while it's auto-saving, they can just lose like 1,000 hours of their life down the toilet. That shit terrifies me.
I mean, you gotta, that's why you gotta keep backups of your save files and shit, cloud save it and all that. I think most of those games are more like games as service games. The bigger concern is that the fucking server's gonna shut down.
That too, yeah.
Or they'll completely change the nature of the game, like in the case of World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I have a few friends who play old school RuneScape, which is like a totally separate game from regular RuneScape, which, yeah, it's one of those. That shit... That sucks so bad. I can't imagine having like a childhood favorite game and then it just morphs into something shitty. It's just not the same and you can't have the old one back. That's awful. This is why I love fan games and mods so much.
I mostly play games from the 90s that haven't changed whatsoever.
Yeah, same.
Which, speaking of that, there's some games I really wanted to talk to you about that I've been playing as of late. One in particular that's important. And that's Dragon Quest II.
Yo.
On the Super Nintendo.
Nice.
I have made it to when you get to the castle from the first game.
Oh, sick. Okay, yeah, so you're like a decent chunk of the way in. That's about where I am in the remake right now, actually.
I want to say probably 3 or 4 hours in.
Yeah.
You get to that point. And it's been an interesting experience because there are certain things that it does that have improved it from the first game.
Yeah.
And then other stuff that I do not like as much.
Yeah.
And I'm having a hard time deciding if I think it's as good as Dragon Quest 1. And I'm curious, which one do you like more between 1 and 2 on the SNES?
Dragon Quest 1, and it's not even close.
Okay. What do you think makes 1 so much better?
Because 1 is super duper tight, it's not that big, it's not that complicated, so it's refined to a point of being as fun as a game like that can possibly be. Whereas Dragon Quest 2 tries to be the same thing but bigger and slightly more complicated, and as a result it feels grindier, more headache inducing. It's because the world map is so much bigger, it's a lot easier to just miss stuff and not know what the fuck you're supposed to do. And Dragon Quest 2 makes me feel like I have to play with a walkthrough in order to finish it, whereas the first one's just like a chill time.
So I'm really glad that you said all that, because I feel exactly the same.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it's so much the size of the map as just the way it's structured doesn't make nearly as much sense.
Yeah.
Where, like, the first game, you start off, and we talked a lot about how beautiful it is that at the very beginning of the first game, you leave the castle, and the end castle is right there on the same screen.
Yeah.
Just divided from you by a river, basically. And it's just like the whole game is about getting to the other side of that river. And so you, like, when you progress through that game, it's like you'll find your way to several bridges, and whichever bridge you cross and the enemies don't immediately curb stomp you is the way to go.
Yeah.
And so it has this sense of like you can feel out where you need to go. And Dragon Quest 2 just totally does away with that. And the world traversal is so much less satisfying because of it.
Yep.
Where it's like, instead of being because there's a bunch of bridges still, but crossing a bridge does not mean anything. The same enemies are on both sides of the bridge.
Yeah.
And so, like, with the first continent that you're on, like, feeling out where the enemies get stronger is pretty random. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, I ran into a stronger enemy, so I guess over here is stronger, but, like, it's not, oh, I crossed a bridge and now it's a definitive difference. It's like, it's kind of just random. And, like, you start off the game with just your hero, like in the original, but now there's multiple enemies on every encounter.
Yeah.
And it's kind of neat because it doesn't feel as it feels a little bit, I don't want to say more strategy, because at the start it's just, you know, you're just hitting attack on each enemy, but at least there's more like variety in the types of encounters. But like the game starts off feeling way harder than the first one.
Yeah.
Because you know, like, if you like find yourself against like a large group, you can really easily get fucked up. And at first I felt like I was spending all my gold on healing items and stuff, and like the progression was going slow, and it was mostly just about leveling up. That was how I felt for the first like 45 minutes. And then as soon as I bought my first shield, I was suddenly like dramatically over leveled for every encounter. Like, nothing's hurting me anymore, everything's going down in like one hit.
Yep.
And I was like, oh no, this game's balance is fucked. Like, now I'm overpowered. And then, like, while you're on the first continent, you have this sort of, like, the quest line is basically, you reach the second castle, which I really like that there's more than one castle now. That, like, you're going between kingdoms.
Yeah.
The plot is more interesting than the first game, because, like, the reason you're going out is that, like, one of the neighboring kingdoms got destroyed. And, like, their last soldier comes to your castle, and he like dies, you know, telling you, oh, we got killed.
Cutscene, which is crazy. The first one didn't even have an opening cutscene.
So, at first it's like the story's more interesting. You get to the second castle, and they're like, all right, you got to go find the prince, and he'll join your team. He went to this cave, the Cave of Bravery or whatever. Yeah. And so you go to that cave and you talk to an old man, and he's like, oh, that guy came here and left already. Yep. I heard he was going to your castle.
And
so then you go to your
like
castle.
4 fucking times.
Yeah, basically like, but nobody ever tells you that he went to the village that he's gone to. You just
Yeah.
have to kind of conclude, well, that's the only place I haven't checked back in, you
Which
know?
I did not figure out on my own. I got really pissed off and just Googled it. 'Cause
I was like getting ready to go back there, but then I Googled it just to be sure because I was like, if I go there and he's not there, I'm gonna be fucking pissed, you know?
it takes forever to go anywhere in Dragon Quest 2. The map is
Yeah, the
big and
encounter rate is
slow as
super
hell.
high. And the battles last longer because there's more enemies.
Yep.
But so once you finally get that prince on your team, there's an interesting moment where it feels like the difficulty curve has kind of been corrected because he joins you at level 1.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, okay, now all this extra gold I have, I can spend on, you know, kitting him out with armor and weapons, and, you know, the enemy encounters have a little bit more danger to them. He's got spells instead of being, like, strong. So, like, there's a little more strategy, and it gets more interesting after he joins you. But then another weird part is, like, the game does not explicitly say to you that once you have him on your team, you can go through this shrine to get to the next continent.
Oh, yeah.
You just have to kind of go do that. And, like, so that confused the shit out of me. I'm, like, running around, like, where do I fucking go? Like, I had to look that up. So then you get to the second continent, and I would say that, like, the first stretch of that second continent of being there was, like, the most fun part so far, because I'm still leveling up my second guy. You know, you go to the destroyed kingdom, and, like, you talk to the spirit of the king there, who's like, oh yeah, the princess got turned into a dog, so you gotta go talk to this dog and give her this like mirror ring that'll turn her back to normal, which you find in a different dungeon type place. And, like, this was a moment where, when I was trying to figure out where to go after recruiting the prince, I had, like, Googled it, and the Google AI said to me, after you've recruited the prince, you have to go south to the other kingdom and recruit the dog that's following you around as a party member. Which is almost true, but I was just like, what? You get a fucking dog on your party? No, you don't. You transform the dog back into the princess, and then she joins you. But yeah, like, I'm gonna leave one headphone off because I am expecting to be taken away for a meeting with an HVAC specialist at 4. Last time they showed up early.
In a tree.
But so the princess joins you. You go to, like, this tower dungeon that's kind of unique in that, like, you have to walk around the outside of it to get to the top. And so, like, this part of the game, I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. Now I've got 3 party members. She has, like, a group magic attack where she can, like, hurt a certain number of enemies at once.
Yes.
And so it starts feeling a little bit more tactical.
Yeah, especially because when it's just you and the prince, it kind of sucks because he's like a total pussy and he never really gets strong. He's more of a support guy, and there are countless memes about him dying constantly because of it.
I never ran into the issue of him dying constantly, but I think it's just because I immediately bought him, you know, the best armor and weapon he could use.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, is that the best weapon and armor he can use, you probably already have it and won't get a better one for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I read about that, and apparently it's even worse in the original NES version.
Yeah, people say that, like, they say, like, oh, the original game was really badly tuned and that the SNES version fixed some of that, but I don't know if I believe them, because the balancing is horrible still.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't fix it
I had that
enough.
same feeling, like, I was looking up, like, what are the general impressions of the SNES version, and all of it is just about how much it improved, and I'm like, well, what about all the problems it still has, though?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I should tell you, but, like, you should be mentally prepared for, like, a real grind. Like, Dragon Quest II, I cannot emphasize enough, it is the grindiest one. Yeah. And the whole, like, the final stretch of the game, like, when you just when you start to think, okay, I can probably, like, finish this game in about an hour, it's gonna be, like, another 10 hours, probably.
Holy Jesus.
Yeah. I spent, like, a whole day grinding on that game. I was so mad.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it through the whole game, because
like with an emulator you can at least fast forward through the battles, but like grinding near the end game, for at least a while, you have to like pay attention because the enemies are so overtuned in the final area. Like it hurt my feelings.
So like, after you do the tower, you then do another tower. This
Yeah.
one takes you to a new continent,
Yeah.
and then you end up with a ship,
Yeah.
and the ship is what can take you to the continent from the original game, but shrunken down.
Yeah.
And you visit the original castle. But to me, this is the only RPG I think I've ever played where when I got the ship and the whole world opened up to me is when I totally lost interest,
Yeah.
because it gives you no direction
Yeah.
on like where do you need to go, and there's no fucking map, and the world is huge, and every like 10 steps that you sail you hit another enemy encounter. If there wasn't enemy encounters on the water, it would not be a problem. But the fact that like if you're just trying to free sail around, you're constantly running into encounters, and they're not like, it hasn't become any more interesting. Like there was a period where when you first get the princess, like she learns a bunch of new spells quickly and then just stops. And so it's just like, okay, I'm not getting any new spells to really spice up the combat, you know, fighting the same enemies, some of the same enemies I've been fighting the whole game at this point. It just feels so badly paced compared to the first one's pacing was immaculate.
Yep.
And Dragon Quest II very much feels like it's made for people who played Dragon Quest I, and they were trying to be like, okay, we expanded on it and we made it harder. You know, like this is the next step up of challenge. And I have to assume that Dragon Quest III, they took the total opposite mentality of like, actually, let's make it a prequel and make it so this can be the first one you play, and that you don't have to worry about the first two.
Almost.
Would you say
definitely.
that's accurate?
That's almost
Yeah.
definitely the intent, yeah. Because I wouldn't say 3 is like easy, but it is so much better than 2. It's insane.
And
I
3
do
is like the
think-
most famous one, or the first one to be like insanely famous and popular.
Yeah, like 3 is one of the most popular in Japan. Like the ones you hear the most about online are usually 3, 5, 8, and 11. Which 8 was
Yeah.
the first one that got big in the West. That's why that one's important. But yeah, you may find the thing with the boat is a recurring problem with Dragon Quest. Like nearly every game in the series has this problem where you get the boat and you're like, yay, I can explore, but there's random encounters on the ocean that make it a fucking chore to explore anything. And
Honestly, though, if the later ones have a map, that will go a long
Yeah.
way.
yeah,
Because the
remakes
lack
all
of a
have
map
maps.
is infuriating. Like,
Yeah.
again, the game world is too big for that. And, like, even when you get off the ship, you have to get back on where you left it. So, like, if you go randomly wandering around a continent, you got to go back to where you left the ship. There's plenty of, like, dead ends and places that just don't matter.
This is
But
really
more than
cool,
any of
by the
that,
way.
it's like now the whole world is open to me and I have no idea where to go.
Yeah.
Like, and so even with a map, like using online maps, like you can't figure out, like you can't look at a map to orientate where am I. That's the biggest issue, is that like I don't know where I am even when I'm looking at a map. If I'm on the open ocean, there's no landmarks, you know, and like the next thing that the guide told me to do, because I was looking at a game FAQ's guide, and it's like, all right, you've gone to Tantagel Castle. Now go sail to this spot in the ocean where there's a shining tile, and that's where you'll find the sunken treasure. And the guide continues from there. And I looked up where that is, and I sailed out, and it's a massive amount of ocean. And it's like I'm sailing around randomly, not finding the spot, hitting all these random encounters, and I was just like, I don't think I fucking care enough. Like, but more so than the game itself being like tedious and kind of directionless, it's not compelling. That's the issue. The
Yeah.
first game was compelling by nature. The second one is not compelling. It does not. You know, again, once I have the princess, there's been nothing new in the plot. There's been nothing like to go, oh, here's the next thing to care about and want to accomplish.
Yeah, it really just kind of... it just kind of goes from there. You get your party members, and it's like the whole game is coasting on the hope that you'll be so excited at the prospect of having party members that that'll carry you through the rest of the thing. But I don't know. Like
I might end up like watching a playthrough of the rest of it rather than play it myself.
Yeah, everything that makes Dragon Quest 2 like interesting, or everything about it that's better than the first one, just makes it more like every other RPG that exists. So it's like, why even play it? You know, that's why I've been more satisfied with the remake of Dragon Quest 2, because they, just like the remake of the first one, they added like whole new swaths of dialogue and cutscenes that weren't there before. And your party members actually talk to you after you've recruited them, and they have personalities and voice acting. But unlike the first game's remake, I actually like the characters in Dragon Quest 2. I like what they did with them. I like the acting, and I like the dialogue and everything. They gave the prince and princess a lot of character that I didn't assume they would have. Like I imagined my own personalities for them in the old game.
Yeah.
But I really like the ones they came up with for the remake, like the prince of whatever the fuck it's called, the prince of Cannock.
The prince's personality in the SNES version is just that he is lackadaisical.
Yeah.
Like easygoing is the word. You are so easygoing, is what his sister says about him.
Yeah, the remake makes him, he's very much like a gentleman, and he's very kind and noble and wants to be heroic, but he's also a huge, like, coward. Right. Which I think is cool. That feels very in line with him being like a support role who dies all the fucking time. And the princess, they made a stone cold, like, bent on vengeance killer, because she is pissed that Hargon killed her dad and all of her subjects and burned her castle down to nothing. Which
that makes sense.
I had not imagined. I imagined her being like the little sister of the group, and I like their direction better. I like her more as kind of like hard-headed, like she's always pushing the party into danger to like accomplish our quest. Says at any cost we will kill Hargon, whereas the Prince of Cannock is like, I don't know about this, you guys. Like, you know, you jump off the tower and you have like a magic cloth that lets you glide to the next continent over. The remake has a whole cutscene for that, of the prince just losing his shit, being like, I don't want to do this. And it was so charming. Like, it's not necessary,
a lot
but
better.
Little details like that just give it so much character. It makes the whole quest feel a lot more interesting. And of course, with it being a modern game, you get maps, you get a world map, you get maps of every dungeon the second you step foot in them, which I have mixed feelings about. But the maps, you can toggle on and off objective markers, you can toggle on and off like treasure chest locations.
The funny thing about too, the dungeons are nowhere near as like labyrinthine as in one.
Yeah. Also,
like, they tend to have rooms that are useless, but you can tell it's useless from the entrance of the room, so it's like, why would I even go in there?
Yeah.
Whereas one had, like, you know, all these parts where you could just go the long way for a while and be like, oh, I'm at a dead end, which was kind of frustrating, so I don't mind losing it, but it feels weird that 2's dungeons have, like, just literally empty rooms that you can just see are empty and don't go into.
Yeah, well, the first one had you use a torch to see where you were going, and the second one...
Right.
Well, none of the other games do that, which I'm okay with, because I didn't like the torch thing a lot. Like, it worked well in the first game, but I don't...
It just doesn't feel like there's much to distinguish, like, being in a cave from not being in a cave. Yeah. I did appreciate that the tower level had the whole run around the outside thing, and, like, if you go up the tower from the inside, there's no way to actually get to the top. It's kind of like a troll. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. These are all things that are also done well in Dragon Quest 3, and I think it does them better for the most part, but if you play Dragon Quest 2, like, if you push on and keep getting deeper into it, I think it's worth it to experience one of the most, like, fuck-off complicated dungeons in the series. Like, it is a true fucking labyrinth, the second to last dungeon in the game. It's crazy.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick because I'm expecting somebody to come in a few minutes, and if that happens, I will get up and you'll be doing the stream by yourself for a little bit. But I'll be right back.
Yeah. Draw your own map, gamer. Bust out the pen and paper. Absolutely. That's the way all the youngins was doing it back in the day. That's the way I did it when I played Metroid, the original Metroid. Because I looked up the game manual and it said to draw your own map, so that's what I did. It made the game way more fun. Like, if any of y'all, if you've never, like, put the effort into drawing your own map for a video game, it's shockingly fun. It's way more satisfying than you think it would be. It sounds tedious, but it's cool. Oh, hey, Gary, all right.
So, I don't know how much time I'll have to go into detail about this if this person shows up in a couple minutes, but what really fucked me up with trying to finish Dragon Quest II is I made the worst mistake you can make while playing a game, I guess, of any type, which is to start playing another better game in the same genre.
Yeah.
And because I tend to have like different games I'm playing on different devices, so I've been playing Dragon Quest II on my phone just because it's easy enough to emulate. The controls are simple, you know. But then I was like, I want to play another SNES game on my laptop. And I started up a game that I've heard about forever. There's certain RPGs that like I've been hearing about for, you know, over 20 years because they're games that are fucking older than I am, or at least older than I've been gaming, and you know, everyone loves them. And one of those is Lufia 2. I've heard of Lufia and Lunar, two games that I used to get confused because they both start with an LU. They both have two entries that are like beloved by classic RPG fans. But I was like watching a SNES drunk video about the best RPGs on the SNES, and he had Lufia 2 at like number 5 or something like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to finally give Lufia 2 a try. He said, you don't have to play the first game. You know, it's a prequel. The first game's story doesn't matter. So I started playing it and immediately was like, oh, this game fucking rules.
Yeah.
And it's basically like Dragon Quest and Zelda had a baby together. Like, the combat encounters and dungeon crawling are more Dragon Quest-esque, but the dungeons are all full of Zelda-style puzzles. And it's way more puzzle-focused than really anything else. And like, in the dungeons, the enemies are visible on screen, so it's kind of like Chrono Trigger, where you can avoid them and stuff. You can actually stun them with an arrow if you don't want to fight them. And there's nowhere near as many encounters as Dragon Quest. And like, but more than anything, the game feel is just super on point. Like, the character moves at a really satisfying speed. The graphics are nice. The music is fantastic. So it was just a feeling of like, oh man, this game, the sound effects are really nice, the menus are really nice, and it has like a fairly deep combat system where like every spell you get, you can either use it on one enemy or you can choose how many enemies you use it on, and it kind of splits the effectiveness. So you can get more tactical with like, you know, deliberately attacking a certain number of enemies with your spells. Certain weapons have like unique spells that only that weapon can use, and like weapons, sometimes it's not always the best idea to just use the strongest weapon because some of them are uniquely good against certain enemy types. And then it also has like what are literally called capsule monsters, and you don't capture them like in Pokemon, but it's like you go to shrines at certain points in the game and you'll pick up a little monster guy who fights with you in battle, but you don't actively control them. They're just like there doing shit for you, and you can like level them up by feeding them shit. And like the dialogue is really charming, the characters are fun, and so immediately I fell in love with this game. And like I only played it for 2 hours, but I got through 3 dungeons in that amount of time, and was like already on the 4th one. So it's like, it's fast paced. Just everything about it felt really good. And so going back to Dragon Quest 2 after playing a couple hours of Lufia 2 was like, oh no, this feels so much worse. Like, the movement speed is so slow, the encounter rate is so high, the graphics and music are nowhere near as good. Like, which
it's that
another
feeling
thing I
of
really
like
don't. care for the
Quest
battle
1
theme.
was like, wow, this is really good for the time, and Dragon Quest 2
Yeah.
was like, oh, this wasn't even that good at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird feeling because it's, again, like some of the things they changed are for the better, but the first game, like you said, was so tight. Like it was perfectly constructed for what it was, and the second one kind of feels like experimentation for the sake of experimentation that doesn't really pay off. You know, like
It pays
certain
off
things are
in
cool,
the
but
other games when they did it better.
yeah.
This is why I can't wait for you to play Dragon Quest 3. I'm so curious to see what you'll think of it. I think it's a massive improvement. Like it's like the good version of Dragon Quest 2.
I would bet. Like I'm like I said, I'm thinking I might just end up watching a playthrough of the rest of Dragon Quest 2 and then move on because it was like I've tried to pick it up several times after playing Lufia, and like again, just the fact that the game feel is so much worse and like the encounter rate is so fucking high, and it really does require, like, if you're not going to explicitly use a guide for every step of the way, you are gonna be wandering around lost, and every 2 seconds you're gonna be in another battle, and the battles are the same thing. So
Yeah.
it just feels like you're doing nothing. Like it feels like if you take one wrong turn, then you're wasting another 5-10 minutes of nothingness, you know?
Well, especially because if you go the wrong way in a dungeon, you could end up wasting so much time and also wasting your mana and your healing items to the point of now you have to go back to a town and walk all the fucking way back to the dungeon where you were. Like, it's just too much. The first game, it was okay. It was okay to design it like that. Like, oh, I ran out of resources. I gotta go back and rest up in Dragon Quest 2. It's like, no. No, you made the game too big, and now this is a fucking chore.
Too big and too, like, like with the first game, it was like everything is radial, you know, like you're going from the start point to specific areas. I never felt lost playing Dragon Quest 1. I felt like I learned the map really quickly.
Yeah.
And in Dragon Quest 2, like, it just, again, it has no sense of direction. It has no sense of, like, guiding you from one place to the next. It just feels, like, way too open.
I'll say there's something to be said about the Game Boy Color remake of Dragon Quest 1 and 2, because it's based on the SNES version, but just having it on a Game Boy makes it so much more palatable, because it's no longer, oh, this game's full of chores. It's like, oh, I'm bored on like a train. I'm going to whip out Dragon Quest 2 and grind for a little bit. It's kind of amazing how much more tolerable it gets when it's just like a game you're idly playing while you're bored at Wawa or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for like the experience of sitting at home playing the game on the Super Nintendo, it's not. I think it's like the worst fucking Dragon Quest. I really don't like it.
I mean, if it's the worst one, that's good news, you know, because it means I don't have to worry about another one being an even bigger pain.
Yeah.
But
there's
and
like,
again, I was having fun for a little bit, but literally getting the ship like ruined the game for me. Like the thought of having to sail around this big ass map and try to figure out what to do next is just not appealing.
Yeah.
But on that note, I do heavily recommend Lufia 2 to you,
Yes.
Giga.
It sounds really interesting.
I was like, oh, this is so your speed. Like,
Yeah.
everything about it is pleasant. Like, the only thing I can possibly complain about is that some of the puzzles are a little obtuse in the sense that like you could definitely figure it out, but you know, there's been moments where I was like, I looked it up and I was like, oh, motherfucker, like, why didn't I think to do that, you know? But yeah, and apparently it's got like a, not endless, but like an insanely massive randomized dungeon that you can play optionally at one point. Kind of like the Pokemon Battle Tower or whatever. But it definitely feels like incredibly advanced and polished for its time. Like, I would be hard pressed to think of another Super Nintendo game or Super Nintendo RPG that I have enjoyed as much from like such an early point of just being like, wow, this rules. Like,
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention, if you do play more Dragon Quest 2, there's like a game-breaking bug with the English translated like Super
Yeah, I
Nintendo
heard
game.
about this.
Yeah.
I looked into that. Yeah,
Okay, good.
I read up a lot about it. Once I got like to a point where I was like, do other people like this? You know. Started looking
is this
into
game
stuff.
bad or am I just bad? And you look it up and
Yeah.
no, this is like the worst Dragon Quest. No one fucking cares about Dragon Quest 2.
Well, I found a lot of people kind of defending it, but mostly in the sense of like,
It's not
because I saw one Reddit post that was like, is it worth playing the NES version, you know, if the SNES version is better? And I saw people kind of defending the NES version.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't find anybody being like, actually, Dragon Quest 2 is horrible. Like,
Yeah. That's the thing with Dragon Quest though, is like even the worst one in the series is still just kind of okay. Like I I don't really
Yeah.
I would say 2 is the worst one by far, and then the second worst one is like, I don't know, the one that's like the offline version of the MMO.
right.
Because why would you play that?
Is that MMO still active?
Oh yeah, it's exclusively in Japan. Like you can't officially purchase it in the United States. It's not like there are like mods. There's like fan translations you'd have to install. So it is
Yeah, I did
possible.
that
Like
for-
you can play it, but it's like a subscription-based MMO, so it's kind of a pain in the ass. I'd love to get into it though. I know a couple of friends who are into MMOs who would be down to play Dragon Quest X. It's just it's a whole thing.
Yeah, I had been playing Phantasy Star Online 2 back when that was Japan only and like had a limited English patch. But that one is free to play, so it wasn't like having to figure out how to fucking pay for a Japanese subscription service or whatever.
Yeah, like making a Japanese Squeenix account and all that shit.
It was super disappointing because by the time they actually did release PSO2 to the United States, it was like everyone was saying it sucks now. Like they had made some kind of updates that made it like incredibly pay to win or something. I don't know. I haven't never played the English version. I probably would enjoy it anyway. Like whatever people are complaining about probably wouldn't affect me, but I just was like, I don't know. The reviews are mixed on Steam. That's not a good sign.
There are still Dragon Quest fans begging for Dragon Quest X to get an English release. And I don't think it's ever happening, because Dragon Quest isn't profitable enough in the US to justify that. It would be an unbelievably tremendous amount of work.
Yeah.
And it should be crazy expensive to like do that. Even though the game is great, I just don't feel like that's ever happening because Dragon Quest XI is getting a Switch 2 port, and Dragon Quest XII just got a reveal trailer, and they have said nothing whatsoever about a Dragon Quest X release. So we're getting 11 and 12 and not 10. I think that's a sign.
Yeah, I think it seemed like 11 was the first one to like actually kind of hit in the US. I don't even know if hit is the right word, but like enough people played it.
Yeah, it was like 8 on the PS2 was kind of a big hit in the West. Not like huge, but it sold well, and then 11 sold even better. So ever since 11, it's been like, okay, now all the Dragon Quest stuff comes out in the US.
Yeah.
Even the shit that like no one would normally give a fuck about. And now we
I
got like all
definitely
the
think
remakes
we're-
coming out, so it's kind of a
We're
done
in kind
deal.
of a beautiful era in a sense of like way more games come stateside, and also like way more old games are like still getting ported and stuff like that. Similar with manga. Like I was at Barnes and Noble a couple weeks ago, and I was really shocked by how many manga that like had not been translated for 20 years are suddenly there, you know? And I was like, holy fuck, they've got like they have a lot of like Baki, for instance, you know? And it's like, I know it's become kind of a successful show because of the Netflix adaptation, but like I had no idea this manga was actually coming out. Or like Homunculus, which was like a manga I remember reading, you know, a certain number of scanslations back around the time it had finished publishing 20 years ago, but all of a sudden here it is at Barnes & Noble. Like I hadn't been to a Barnes & Noble in like a year, so it was like everything was new. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Truly in a translation renaissance.
Yeah, it's pretty epic. I like getting my hands on more stuff. I like, I don't know. I like that people who appreciate things that like our generation is really into. I mean, like, it's just our generation being old enough to be the people working in the industries and knowing that this shit is cool. I don't know, without the internet, I don't know how long it took people to figure out that like stuff from Japan was cool.
I think it's just a matter of like word of mouth is so much easier to spread now, where like if something is really good, people are going to keep talking about it and keep demanding it. And it used to be like, how would you even, you know, like if you played a game and you thought it was amazing, you could tell your friends, but like now you can make a whole YouTube video about it and, you know, try to get more eyes on it.
This dungeon is so straightforward. This is like the least I've had to concentrate on this game in a long time. The last two dungeons were so fucking complicated, and then this one's just like hallways. But it's for a good reason. Get to the end of these hallways, fight the mini-boss, and you get a dungeon item that recontextualizes every room you've been in, so you like work your way back out of it while solving puzzles you couldn't interact with before. It's kind of neat. Not my favorite dungeon, but it's cool. Also, this is like a dark nut, which is pretty sick.
Yeah, he looks badass.
These were like the toughest enemies in Wind Waker, so it's like, oh yeah, you thought these guys were hard in Wind Waker, well now you're playing a big kid game. Get fucked.
Yeah. It's really interesting, like, it does seem like in retrospect, this might be the most popular Zelda game.
It's one of them, for sure.
I keep seeing, like, the channel Internet Pit Stop did, like, a poll on, like, which one of these Zeldas is your favorite, and then later, like, which one of these Links is your favorite out of, like, the 4 really biggest games, and, like, Twilight Princess pretty much swept in both categories, and I was like, damn, and, like,
Wow.
I think his audience probably skewed like closer to your age, so it's like
Yeah.
maybe part of it is that like this was the first one they had as a kid, but it also, I just feel like in retrospect more people go back to this than go all the way to Ocarina or Wind Waker.
This is so fucking cool. Knock off all his heavy armor so he pulls out the faster sword.
That's neat.
So much aura, as the kids say. It's got the hype moments and the aura. It's like my favorite thing to say. I blame Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm not sure it's their fault, but like just everything's about hype moments and
everything
aura
being
now.
about hype moments and aura. I've seen a lot of complaining about that. Lately, which I don't understand how you could complain about hype moments in aura, but a lot of people are like, oh, that's all anyone cares about. I'm like, yeah, that's all anyone's ever cared about. What are you talking about? Like, that is the essence of cool.
Yeah. People
What
talk
is
about,
there
like,
besides hype moments in aura?
I think.
Can I introduce you to a show called Gurren Lagann?
Like when they hear hype moments in aura, they're just thinking, oh, so you mean like slop? You're talking about like style over substance, and it's like, no, we're talking about the climax of a story. We're talking about like when the really cool fist pump moments happen. Lots of stories have that. It's been a thing.
It's weird, like, having been online for a long time,
to say it, I guess.
like, the discourse has not changed whatsoever in the time I've been online. It's only the terminology that keeps changing. It's like you said, it used to be style over substance, now it's hype moments and aura. Like, Rat Part in the chat says, on one hand, I do like the relatively mainstream appeal anime and manga have now, but it's made discussion remarkably more annoying. You have so many Joey whoever's that show up to the conversation like, haha, that is weird. That's always how it's been.
Yeah.
Like, it's been the exact same for 25 years. Like, I have seen no shift in how discussion happens over time.
Like dodge and shit. I'm like playing Dark Souls right now. Zelda game where you actually have to dodge the attacks and not just stand around waiting for the enemy to expose his weak point. What the fuck? It's like a real boss fight.
I think that's why it's been so difficult for me to like capture the spirit of my older content, where like there was a time where I would get like frustrated at the conversations I saw and want to change them.
Yeah.
And so I would make these videos
I still feel that a
in
lot.
this. I made my videos in the spirit of I want to affect the conversation, and like
Yep.
now I know that's impossible. So like,
Well, I think you
why?
have affected the conversation. It's just it didn't like take root the way you might have wanted it to. It's more
I
like
really
people
don't think I affected anything. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
anything changed. I think there's always been people who feel like there's always been the annoying cultural conversation and then the counter conversation.
Yeah.
And like for a time I was a mouthpiece of the counter conversation, but like it's not any like there's other people saying the same shit I was saying back then now.
Yeah,
you know,
that's kind of what I meant. Is like people
But, like-
borrowed your words, but like it didn't change the roots of the discussions going on.
It's
the way they
never
describe
going
it.
to be different. It's always going to be the same way. And like for me, it's exhausting to repeat myself. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to be forever like just saying, oh, most people are dumb and wrong all the time is very boring, you know. At least for me. But I see other, like, I don't know. I've gotten really sick of discourse lately because it is so circular. And, like,
Yeah.
particularly, like, 2 years ago when the Kendrick versus Drake beef happened, it was incredibly exciting because all this new analysis started coming out and people were, like, poring over everything going on in this beef. And we're 2 years later and it's the same exact conversations happening.
Yeah.
Like, people are still talking about that beef constantly, still making the same points and arguments and everything, and like, it's just that nothing else exciting has happened since then, so there's nothing like new to say, or if there is, it only lasts a little bit, but none of it hits, you know, on that level of cultural relevance, and it's like, it feels like we're just waiting for another zeitgeist moment and then everything will be about that for a while, you know. But like the discourse just it doesn't move, you know. Like it just is the same shit over and over and over again. And I don't know, I guess that's life, but
Yeah. Well, it's like on the one hand, you know, I can feel compelled to want to react to discourse in a video because it's like an easy way to make content. It's like I get fired up about something and I want to talk about it, and people do find it interesting. It's like easy content. It's just
yeah.
after a while it starts to feel kind of lame that I'm just reacting to a bunch of idiot 20-year-olds on Twitter.
Yeah.
And it's like, why haven't
Who
you
are
even
just lying. Like they're just having opinions to have opinions. They don't really
just saying
like there's no
dumb
way
shit for
people
the sake
really
of it?
think that the fucking Dragon Quest 12 character design is woke because he's got an underfade. Like
I've seen
it's
so
just
many gamer
not
dudes
true.
on Discord calling it a lesbian haircut. I'm like, y'all need to like go outside.
Yeah. Or fucking like that Mina the whatever the fucking mouse game is woke because it has an easy mode. I'm like, you don't think this. Like you're lying.
Haircuts and easy modes are woke now, and woke is bad because of reasons.
Yeah, it's just everyone wants to be mad about something, so they just make up shit to be mad about, and then other people get mad about them being mad because they want something to be mad about.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting.
Yeah. It's kind of funny, but after a while it just gets exhausting. That's why I'm no longer on Twitter, is because, you know,
Yeah.
like too many discourses just made me want to fucking die. Like these people, like getting to the realization that these people don't mean anything they're saying. They just want the dopamine hit of feeling better than you.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I don't like this fucking dumb. Like you're a bunch of losers.
I mean, again, I guess like that's kind of just life though. Like there's not a more exciting thing
Yeah.
to be doing. It's like you can either be boring or be differently boring, I guess. But
Well, yeah, I mean, my solution is to start filling my time with things that are actually fun and enjoyable and interesting, rather than
Yeah.
Twitter, which is like I was talking to Sarah about this last night. We were talking about like just like how social media affects our brains and stuff, because she's not like as affected by it in a negative way as I am. So I don't know. It was just an interesting thing, because I'm like, yeah, like this. Every time I looked at Twitter, I realized I was coming away from it mad. And the same thing happened with Reddit, where I would open it up, read a couple posts, get really annoyed, and feel like shit for a while. Just be like, why would you think something so stupid? And it's like, this wouldn't have occurred to me in a million years if I didn't open up the app.
Yeah.
And also coming to the realization, like once I took stock of like, okay, I know I have learned some valuable stuff from social media because I got to hear perspectives from people I otherwise never would have heard of. But how many posts that I read a day, out of like the hundreds of posts I saw a day, how many of them could I actually remember? And the answer was almost none. Like less than 10% of the shit I looked at I could remember.
Yeah.
So like why like these people do not matter. It doesn't matter if you have like millions of followers. As soon as I stop looking at the phone, those people don't exist. I don't even remember.
It's incredibly surreal because like Bird, he's not really on Twitter anymore, but like sometimes he will just look at it. Like he never posts, but he'll look at it sometimes, and like I'll be looking at it over his shoulder, and I'll remember like a lot of the accounts that he follows are people that I did follow as well on there, and like I have no interaction with them outside of Twitter. And like some of them are people where it's like I'd be in their replies, they'd be in my replies and stuff like that. So it's like on some level when I was on there, I felt like I knew these people. But the second I'm not on there anymore, yeah, they don't exist at all. Like it's just a Twitter presence, and it's a strange feeling to like see those names again and be like, oh yeah, this person still exists. Like they didn't disappear just because I stopped using Twitter, but at the same time, we have no engagement outside of that, you know? Which I guess could be true of any, like, you know, even if you're just not in the same place as somebody, you can feel like they, you know, as soon as they're not relevant to you, they kind of don't exist anymore. But those people just have very little impact overall. Where like there's people in my life that are not around anymore that I still think about. None of them are the people from Twitter.
It was like I know a couple people who have made like actual friends on Twitter, which is shocking to me because every time I've tried to do that, it didn't work. Like I felt like I was always being treated like a follower, which is really gay. Like that is like the gayest thing imaginable.
For sure.
Like, I don't care about your fucking follower count. You're not special. You're not better than anybody. You're not an influencer. I don't like you're influential on like teenagers and stupid people, but I don't know. That shit's just weird.
Yeah, I think on the subject of like whether or not you can like kind of handle getting annoyed by the internet, I do think that like you and I both are people who we have a hard time with the annoyed feeling of like, because I want to take people at their word. Like I want to take people seriously because if somebody has a problem, I want to try to solve it. And like, I'm not very good at listening to venting. Like if somebody is just like complaining about something, I'm like, I got to do something about that. You know, like here's what you could do. And I want them to do something, you know, and like, when like I realize that they're not that serious or it doesn't really matter to them, then I'm like, well, why did you tell me about it? Like, why are you occupying my brain space with your non-problem, you know?
I'll say there have been times where I was venting in the Discord and you said words that actually helped me feel better.
Well, I'm glad for that. Like, because I'm always trying to do that, you know, like if somebody... I always feel like there's always got to be a solution to whatever the issue is, you know? And like I feel like I can talk through to a solution, but oftentimes I will talk to somebody will be venting about something or complaining about something, and then I'll say something, and then I just get kind of a rejection of it, of my like, oh well, that wouldn't work because of this, or oh well, that's you know, or even just, oh, it's not that big. Like, I'm not trying to fix it, you know, I just want to vent about it. And I'm like, well, I'm not the person to come to, you know, if you're not trying to actually do something about the issue, like, because I don't know how to respond. I don't know what you're looking for, you know, if not a solution.
Yeah, I remember talking to my brother about that a long time ago, and he was kind of surprised. I told him, I mean, the long and short of it is there are different ways to like comfort people when they're in distress. And a lot of people, like most of the time, doesn't apply to everybody. Like some people do want just solutions to the problem, but a lot of the time when people are actively upset, they don't want a solution. They just want to be like validated emotionally and supported. And just told like it's gonna be okay, like things that aren't even necessarily true, just saying the right combination of words with the right tone of voice that will make the bad feeling go away. And my brother was shocked when I told him this, because he's like, I always thought when I was giving people solutions that was emotional support. And I'm like, no, for a lot of people it just reads like you're telling them what to do. Like it just that's why it doesn't do shit sometimes.
Or like they know what to do, but that's not what they're looking to be told. They're looking to hear about why they are right to feel the thing they're feeling. And I don't often like that's another thing. I will hear somebody complain and a lot of the times be like, you don't have to be upset about this. Like you can just like not. I'm not very good at taking people's side, basically is what I'm trying to say. I'm like a very solutions oriented thinker.
I think I was more that way as a kid. I don't know if it's an autism thing, but just like when I was a kid, I would really kind of look down on people for not having the same skills that I had. And I've seen other people do that too, where it's just kind of silly. It's like, I don't know.
I definitely see a lot of that, especially from autistic people.
Just being
big
like,
time.
Well, I don't know, like if you used to struggle.
You think this
with,
game
like,
is hard?
Yeah. You really? Why'd you struggle with that?
Yeah,
or like if someone like got over an addiction.
That drives
me
insane.
Also, like,
also,
why are you addicted to stuff? Like, I got over it. Why can't you, idiot?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that kind of stuff drives me crazy. Like, I appreciate that it's difficult. I just want people to be working towards a solution. You know. And if I don't get the sense that that's the goal, then I'm just like not interested in being a part of it. Which is why like the fake outrage is so annoying, because it's like I don't even believe you actually are outraged about this, much less that there is a solution to the outrage. Like, you want to be mad, so there's nothing I can say. There's no argument I can make. Like, you are trying to have an argument. You're not trying to have the argument end with like an agreement. You're trying to create disagreement because you want the thrill of arguing. You know?
Exactly.
And that makes me feel like I've been duped or something if I fall into it.
Where'd the statue go?
Well, I thought I'd be getting a visitation at 4 o'clock, but it's already 4:30, and
it do be like that.
I don't know if that's what the nature of this meeting is. Like, I don't know if it's
they just forgot
something. I don't know if it's something where they're supposed to be here, but they did say it would be at my address, so I don't know.
It's like every appointment I've ever had, we're like, oh, a guy's supposed to come by the house. Like, they never show up on time. And it's usually
last time the dude was like
fault.
10 minutes early, so I was thinking like maybe because this isn't they're not getting paid for this one explicitly, so probably
what
willing to take more time.
Because I had a job like that recently. I think what's happening is it can be a hassle for like managers figuring out what times are like good times to set for the schedule, and it's also just they're going to like different houses, like multiple houses a day, and different they don't really know how long a job is going to take till they get there. So what's probably happening is they had a customer earlier today that's taken longer than expected.
Yeah.
And they also had to take a lunch break after that. So that's probably what happened.
It's mostly surprising to me because like they were insanely on top of shit before, and like to an extent where it was actually kind of hilarious, because like like I had told Victor like we got to fix the AC in this room, and then he sent me like 2 different companies to try and schedule with. And the first one I tried to do it online, and like the thing just like wouldn't load up their like schedule that I could select a time through. By the way, the Discord video sharing is choppy as fuck in this dungeon. I'm just gonna look at the YouTube stream since I'm not really commenting on what's happening anyways.
I hope my internet's not gone bad.
If you want, you could just cancel the Discord stream, just because
that might help.
Yeah, the YouTube will probably look better in that case too.
So make you disappear on YouTube for a second,
but
there we go.
Yeah, like the other place that we ended up going with, It looks like I disappeared on YouTube. Okay, I'm back. The place that I called, like I called and nobody picked up, but then they called me back at like 11:30 at night, and were like, "Oh yeah, we could schedule that appointment." And I was like, "How are you open? It's fucking almost midnight." And then like they called me the next day to be like, "Oh, we actually have an opening today that we didn't know about. If you want them to come right now." And I was like, "It's too fucking early. No, come at the time you said." And the guy was 10 minutes early. So they just have given me the impression of being like super in a rush to deal with stuff. But at the same time, that was the first, that was the one where like the guy was getting paid to come do a thing. This is them like coming back for free to assess whether we're going to pay for another thing, So I get the feeling that there's less of a rush to secure the bag, if that makes sense.
Oh, the fucking statue's up there. God damn it. Okay.
More of a back burner event.
Let this go up.
And yes, Gary, they gave me an exact time. It's like 4 o'clock. This meeting happens. But also, I was kind of under the impression that this was more something they have to take up with Victor. So like, they might just be calling him, and that's actually the meeting. It actually says between 4 o'clock p.m. and 4 o'clock p.m. in the text. Between the time and the time. But
oh, shit's goofy.
Yep, so far no sign of him.
If I take the statue down to that room, there's a treasure chest. What the fuck?
So, I talked about playing Dragon Quest and Lufia. I know you've been gaming pretty hard for the last week or so.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed my mood being a little more chipper today than it has been on the last couple streams. Basically, I've been battling a severe depression for many weeks. Well, many months, but it's been really bad for the last, like, the month of May, or give or take, like,
yeah,
many weeks of suffering and pain and misery. And I feel a lot better now, and I blame Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic cured my depression.
Thank Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic healed my heart, he healed my brain, he fixed my body and my mind altogether. My soul has been... Sonic picked up the pieces and duct taped it back together, more or less, and I'm not exactly sure how or why it happened. I think it had to do with this game, actually, that we're playing right now, because, we switched to the recompiled version of Twilight Princess, the like fan-made PC port, and it's gorgeous, and it's got the buttery smooth frame rate. And so I got inspired to look at other ones. I'm like, is there like a website that compiles all of the good like recomps? Can I just find all the games that have ports like this? And one of them was Sonic Unleashed. And Sonic Unleashed is a game I have wanted to like really bad since I was a kid, and it just fucking pissed me off every time I tried playing it because of the awful load time, awful fucking gameplay, just so many things about it were so tedious and bad. And I saw it had a native PC port. I thought, okay, I'll give it another try. And just running the game at a higher frame rate and with like short load times made it so much, like, there was so much less friction between me and the game that I was able to play it to completion. And I kind of want to make a whole video about it, but Sonic Unleashed, like, as corny as it is, that fucking game gave me the words that I needed to hear to feel better about myself. Which is hilarious, because it's like a corny fucking little kid's game with horrible voice acting. But it's like the aggressive sincerity of it that made it so fucking wholesome and cute. And I don't know, it... Like, with no exaggeration, Sonic Unleashed was like therapy to me.
It's like me with the Guilty Gear soundtrack that I made that video about.
Yeah. It was exactly like...
But like, this is
actually
so fucking
pulling me out
hopeful.
of the depths of despair. So I did a Sonic the Hedgehog podcast with Yakuman and Kino. It's on the Golden Butterflies channel. If you haven't listened to it, y'all feel free to when you've got the time. We kind of went a few weeks with like no releases and then had 2 podcast episodes back to back. And the Sonic cast is like 4 fucking hours of us just yapping aimlessly. Not aimlessly. We did a bracket. We did a bracket to determine like what is the best Sonic game, which is funny. But yeah, I realized while doing the bracket that there are a lot of Sonic games I haven't played before. So I've been taking the last few weeks or so to plow through all of them. All of the ones that I had not finished. I beat like 6 games in a row. And I have at least 6 more to go.
Yeah, your ability to just like beat a game and then beat another game in the same day has always impressed me.
Yeah. Well, in this case, I mean, it helps that they're games I haven't finished before, so it kind of feels like I'm getting something out of it that I haven't gotten before. If it was like a game I'd already played, I'd be like, all right. But like, in this case, I'm really hyper fixated on Sonic. I'm like watching the cartoons and the movies and shit, and just because I'm experiencing stuff I haven't experienced before, it gives me this, like, I like marathoning stuff because it gives me this feeling like I'm completing a giant project. I have like a checklist and a spreadsheet, and it's like really fucking satisfying to turn all the red squares into green squares as I'm checking them off the list.
Yeah.
It's like this big project I'm doing, and even though some of the games are like turbo fucking butt cheeks and they actively made me furious, it's like, oh good, I finally finished Sonic and the Secret Rings. Now let's see if the next game is any good. And then the next game is awesome. And I'm like, I didn't know Sonic and the Black Knight had this much fucking aura, this rules.
Yeah, it was interesting. You were like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this game's actually good. And I was like, I've never heard anything negative about that game.
When I was a kid, like I wanted so bad for there to be like a vanilla Sonic game. I talked about this in the podcast, but I was like, why haven't they made a Sonic game that's just like the Genesis ones but 3D? And I went to the rental store, the Family Video, and I saw 3 different games for the Wii. It was like Sonic and the Secret Rings, Sonic Unleashed, and Sonic and the Black Knight. And I just looked at the cover for Black Knight and thought, oh, Sonic has armor and a sword. That is definitely not what I want. That's like some stupid shit, right? But no, it's just like Secret Rings, but good. Which is crazy. I was immensely satisfied with it. Is there anything else to do with this fuck-ass statue? What?
Yeah, it seems like sometimes, I don't know, it used to be that when Sonic was put into like a different genre, it didn't always go over well, because I know Sonic R is like considered like a horrible racing game.
Yeah.
But in more recent years, I feel like when he gets put into something else, like I know there was that visual novel from a few years ago that was like The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, and everybody seemed to like that.
That one's awesome.
And yeah, the
like that.
Black Knight's like an RPG, right?
It's not like an RPG. It's like an auto runner, where you have a sword and you're like hack and slashing your way through enemies while running through the obstacle courses.
I totally thought it was a fucking RPG.
There is a Sonic RPG on the DS. It's called Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood, and I've heard it's not good.
Okay, I guess I had thought that's what Sonic and the Black Knight was.
Yeah. Oh, that's where I put the statue. Okay. Yeah, it's I haven't played it, but when I heard it was bad, I was immensely disappointed because I feel like it should be really easy to turn Sonic into a good turn-based RPG like that. There's good Mario RPGs. Like, I feel like the whole idea of that kind of like writes itself. Like, you could have Tails as like a support character with his inventions and shit. You can have like Amy there with her big ass hammer as the tank, and have Knuckles as a melee fighter, like all sorts of shit, you know. Shadow can use guns. Just seems like
something I've
really
been thinking
easy.
about doing. I want to ask Chad about this.
Oh, yeah.
Is taking clips from these live streams we do, and probably just posting them on this channel, because making another channel seems like a lot.
Yeah.
And like on the one hand, like, because I kind of like that we have such a clean like videos tab and live tab, and if we were, I guess if we were doing the Dragon Quest videos more frequently, I'd be more concerned about like keeping it being one type of content. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you think you would find it annoying for us to put clips on this channel, or if I should just do that.
I do think we should hurry up and make the Dragon Quest II video, since you pretty much have the stance on it that I thought you would come to already.
Yeah.
I think we're good to write that and fart it out so we can make videos about the good games.
True. Well, and excitingly, the next one will be Final Fantasy 1, and I've been fucking dying to play some Final Fantasy since we started this series. Like,
that's exciting for me too, because I've played it a little bit already and I know it rules. So
I'm a lifelong, almost, Final Fantasy fan.
yeah.
Which I'm sure it's not like I'm gonna think 1 is like the greatest fucking game in the world, but I am sure I will enjoy it more than Dragon Quest 2. And again, it's not even like I didn't enjoy Dragon Quest 2 at all for a time. There was like 1 hour of it that was really like, all right, this game's coming around, but whew, the boat stuff is just so tedious.
Yeah,
I'll
unfortunately,
probably
the boat
at least
stuff
give
never
it a
really
little more
stops
of a
being
shot.
tedious. I got really mad at Dragon Quest 7 for that, because Dragon Quest 7 is like in the later games they start making it so instead of random encounters you can like see the enemies on the map, and then battle starts when you touch one of them. But for some reason in 7, like the remakes of 7, even though it's one of those games, when you're on the ocean, it's back to random encounters. It's fucking infuriating. Even when you're in like the light world where there are not any monsters anymore, for some reason there's still fucking monsters in the ocean. Infuriating. Why do I not have the big key? Where is the big key?
Big key.
Fuck. Fuck. Game. Fuck. Fuck you. God. Sonic RPG would make sense to have an ATB combat system, as speed is the biggest aspect of the Sonic. Yeah. Literally just a Sonic RPG that's like a Mario RPG.
I gotta go pee. I'll be right back.
Yeesh. Okay, son of a bitch. Wait. What? What? Where the fuck is the big key? Is it that one? Is it one of these? What the shit, man? God damn it. I don't know what the fuck. Pick it up. Clips are cool. Please make clips if you want to. Yeah, we can get some good clips in here. Some of the stuff I'm talking about on here is going to be repurposed into a video. Like I definitely plan on, like, I think Sonic the Hedgehog Cured My Depression makes sense as a video title. I think it would be fun. Not to CinemaSins being a Sonic game, but why didn't Shadow ever think to use the Chaos Control time travel in 06 to go back in time and save Maria? That's true. That yeah, that was kind of a whole thing in 06. They just decided, oh, if we get two, we don't even need all 7 emeralds. If we get 2 of them, we can just time travel. I don't remember it very clearly, but I think that might have been the plot of Shadow Generations. Like, I know that one involves Maria and, like, time distortion stuff. I don't remember exactly what happens, though. But yeah,
I'd been wearing one headphone off, so I'd be ready to hear a door knock, but it doesn't seem like it's happening, and I'm getting pissed off about not wearing my headphones all the way. So fuck it. They can call me if they need me.
I'm fucking lost in this.
Something I was gonna say earlier, when you were talking about how like the checklist of Sonic games is really like helping to cheer you up. Definitely like having a project of any kind is like for me, like the key to sanity is like,
Yeah.
and it has to have some kind of clear progression and like, you know, an end point after which you go into the next project. Cause like I've always lived a very project oriented lifestyle of like there's something I'm working on and I'm really adamant about it, and like sometimes I get sick of it and it doesn't finish, or like I run out of idea of what to do. Sometimes it just feels like it's not worth the investment. But like as long as I've got something going on, I'm usually pretty like focused on that, and so it's harder for me to get like lost in negative emotions or anything. 'Cause it's like, well, I've got this thing to work on. And right now I'm in an interesting spot where like I'm not 100% satisfied with the projects that I've got going, but I have a lot of them kind of like we're doing Twilight Princess streams 2 days out of the week most of the time.
Yeah.
I've got Disco Elysium that I'm doing 2 days out of the week most of the time, and then I've got Whams that I help out with, and you know, like helping Bird with his streams, and then like also on top of all that, making my own like main channel videos and stuff, or my vlog series on Trixie Takes a Square. It's just like having all of these kind of up in the air at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, even if there's moments where I kind of slip into like, I don't really know what I'm doing right now, like I know I'm gonna do one of those things almost every day, so that like helps a lot with, you know, keeping me from like getting down about like, oh, what am I really doing with my time or whatever.
Right, yeah. Helps with prevent the total despair. That's been me with like podcasting. I've been on so many fucking podcasts.
Podcasting is really good for that, especially because you get to talk to another person.
Yeah. Like it's just hanging out with my friends, which I was gonna do anyway. It's like a good excuse.
Like I was
to get
actively
together.
excited for this stream because I had played Dragon Quest II. I mean, I've actually been playing it for, like, I started, I want to say, almost 2 weeks ago. Like I definitely had started playing before the last time we recorded.
Okay.
But I was at the very beginning, and I was playing very slowly, so I didn't want to say anything until I had like something to say about it. But then like once I got to Tantagel Castle again, I was like, okay, I'm excited to talk to Krona about the fact that I made it to like a keystone moment, you know. And I was kind of, you know, gonna gauge your reaction of like, is she gonna encourage me to like, oh, there's another part you really have to see, or is it gonna be more like, oh, you saw all the good stuff already? Which it sounds like it's more the latter. It seems like the game doesn't get better as it goes from your description.
I would say the game later on, it gets immensely frustrating in ways that are interesting, but I've already experienced it, and you probably don't want to do it yourself because it just kind of sucks.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like my speed.
It's more like what I was talking about with my Sonic games, where like I play through a couple of them that are fucking garbage, but there's that feeling of, oh, there's a light at the end of the tunnel because after this is the good Sonic game.
Yeah.
That's Dragon Quest 2. Is like, I just need to get through it. It's not fun. I just need to get through it so I can get to 3, because 3 is the good one.
I also was just excited to recommend you Lufia 2, especially because like when it comes to all the old RPGs, like nearly all of them are utterly beloved by someone.
Yeah.
Like somebody in chat earlier was talking about being like the biggest Suikoden 1 fan, you know, and like I've heard a lot of praise for Suikoden 1, and that's another game that like I downloaded on my phone, I played it for a little bit, and ultimately my main conclusion was this isn't as good as a phone game. Like this is the controls are a little too involved, but like just it wasn't really resonating with me on like a graphical level or a gameplay level. Like there was some intrigue in the early part of the story, but like I don't know, I just wasn't like gripped by it in that way that that would cause me to, you know, feel like, oh, I have to play through all of this. And like I'm sure there probably is really cool stuff that happens in the game, but I also am sure that like most people who have experienced all that played it when they were young, you know, and so, or they played it when it was new and like they didn't have to worry about like load times or the music being kind of generic or boring, you know, like there's just certain things that like, not even that modern games won't have this problem, but just that there are more games that are good. And so I don't have to result to playing a game that has anything middling about it. And that can make it really hard for me to return to a lot of games that are beloved by a lot of people. And like, so I tend to go into these old games with the expectation of like, I doubt I'm going to love this as much as the people who love this, you know?
Yeah.
Even Chrono Trigger would be a great example of a game that like I've tried to play through Chrono Trigger more than once. I've made it like halfway in and it's really good, but it just has never hit with me on the level that it seems to hit with, you know, people who are like, this is literally the greatest game of all time. And I'm like, I don't know if I could feel that never having played it growing up, you know, like,
That's wild.
But Lufia 2 actually did give me that feeling of like, oh, I immediately get why this game is good, you know? Like, I don't know if it'll hold up the whole way through like that, but I was shocked to have that experience right away of just like, oh, I like everything about this, you know? The dungeons are well made, the music and sound effects are really good, it feels like convenient and fast, and like, I don't know, just nothing annoyed me about it so far. So I was like, okay. Whereas, like, for instance, Lunar 2, which is the game I've always confused it with, like, I tried to download that on my phone to start playing it, and, like, just the aesthetics immediately put me off. Like, it's very, like, corny 90s anime in a bad way. It was just like, I don't know. So yeah, I'm glad that one of those games I've been hearing about for 20 years before actually playing, like, actually did make me go, oh shit, like, I see the hype.
It's like wild to me that Chrono Trigger didn't do it for you. To me, that one's like on the same level as Ocarina of Time, where it's like instantly like, oh, this fucks.
There's a lot to like about it, but I think so. Like, there's a lot of praise for the fact that you have a lot of options during combat, but it's one of those games where there are very effective strategies you can use and just use it over and over again, and it'll always just win. Yeah. And, like, I'm the type of gamer where if there's, like, an obvious thing you can just do, I'm not gonna, like, sit around and fiddle and experiment the whole time. I'm just gonna do the obvious thing, you know?
I tend to do that
so,
too.
like, I want to say, like, because I was on the way to the Magus fight, I think.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a part where you go through a cave, and there's just like a ton of enemy encounters in this cave. And every single encounter, I was just using the same like triple spell attack with all of like, you know, I had Chrono and the two girls, and they have like an attack where they just like drop a bunch of ice on the enemies type shit. And it just like won every battle. So it felt incredibly tedious that I was like 30 minutes of going through this dungeon and just doing the same attack on every encounter and winning, and I was like, I don't know, this is not gripping to me. And it was at kind of a slow point in the story. With RPGs, there always comes to be a point where the story slows down and the gameplay picks up, and that's almost always where I get tired of it. Like, because I'm really invested in the story, and usually when the gameplay picks up, it doesn't pick up in a way where it's becoming more interesting, you know? Final Fantasy X is like one of the only sort of exceptions. I would say that the random battles don't necessarily get more interesting, but the boss battles always have a new gimmick. And like, particularly in the late game, like you really have to learn exactly what you need to do with your characters to win each boss fight. And that felt like it kept things fresh, and like the story was always moving. So that was like an example where I did feel compelled the whole way. But usually it's like when you get to the point where you know what the enemy, like the bad guy's big plan is, then the game almost always just becomes, all right, we got to go stop the big plan. let's gather all our strength and stop the big plan. And it's like you've already kind of concluded all the character arcs. You know, you're literally just saving the world, and that tends to be where like the bulk of just playing it comes in. And I don't know. To me, it's more I'm more invested when I'm learning new things all the time, not when I'm just like expressing the knowledge of what I already learned.
Yeah. I tend to have a much easier time just like brute forcing games like that, honestly. Like, I can deal with a lot of repetitive combat so long as something about it is like viscerally satisfying. If it like pleases my what's it called? My goopy goblin gamer brain.
Yeah.
I believe that's the scientific term.
Well, that's been my biggest struggle with video games in general, is finding it satisfying enough to keep doing it over and over again. And like that's why I've gotten so into shmups, is that like it's the only type of a game that I've found where I just feel like constantly compelled to do that gameplay loop of, you know, dodging all these bullets and timing your fire just right and all that. And even then I've slowed down on the shmups a little bit. Like I was like, I want to play some RPGs, and that was what drove me to play more Dragon Quest and Lufia. But like I said, Lufia kind of threw me off of Dragon Quest just because it was more satisfying.
Yeah, I got thrown off of Dragon Quest 2 Remake because of Sonic. It's all Sonic's fault. I'm playing like the furthest possible opposite of a turn-based RPG I could be playing. Fucking Sonic just gotta go fast, gotta go fast, gotta go faster, 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 go, 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 go.
Sonic's actually not about going fast.
We're such dorks.
They really are.
It's like having that realization, like, wait a second. Everyone on the internet is a dork. Particularly everybody in fandom
next
spaces.
to me, but his food is calling him. I don't think he's noticed. Behemoth, your food's calling you. Your food machine is saying your name. He's definitely not paying attention. He's trying to fuck up the stage light. You didn't hear that food drop, big man? Whatever.
Stinky cat. Yeah,
He'll figure it
yesterday
out.
I woke up and saw that there was like a live stream. As I was sleeping, there was some live stream revealing Dragon Quest 12, like showing footage of it for the first time and some of the characters. And so I hopped in the Dragon Quest Discord server to see what people were saying about it. And it's so funny because people, like the true fandom nerds, take shit so seriously. They're talking about like, oh, they didn't get Toriyama's art style exactly right. They haven't gotten it exactly right since the PS2 games, and this is just like besmirching his legacy. And I'm like, y'all take,
When are you gonna get over it?
people taking Toriyama's artwork more seriously than he did is always fucking funny to me. He's like the most unserious storyteller ever.
I definitely think this is like an autism thing of like just never letting go of a feeling.
Yeah.
Like, if you've been disappointed, then you have to stay perpetually in this state of disappointment. And it's like, get over it. Like, Toho fans are like this too, where like there's been this, like, there's like a sect of Toho fans who have been disappointed in all of them since like probably whatever was newest when they got into it. And it's like they think that there's something that can happen that will rekindle the magic for them. And I'm like, I think you're just jaded. Like, the new games are also good. They're just differently good, you know? But you're looking for it to be the same as what it was. And like, your impression of what it was is based on when you got into it, you know?
Yeah. That's always what it is. It's always just them being jaded. So they want to say like, oh, this franchise I loved when I was 5 has changed and it's bad now, and I'm like, you're just not a baby.
Yeah.
Happens with One Piece fans a lot too, because One Piece is so long. It's been going on forever. Like, in the process of waiting for One Piece to end, people get too old to enjoy it the way they did when they were young, and they're like, One Piece sucks now. And I'm like, One Piece is exactly the fucking same as it's always been. Like, it hardly changed, but they're like, oh, the fact that it hardly changed is what's bad about it. And I'm like, it was like that for like 500 chapters before you got into it.
Yeah.
It's really all about perspective. It's like this with everything, like Star Wars, Dragon Ball, like everything that's gotten like a nostalgic throwback update. And they're like, they made it bad now, and I'm like, it was stupid before.
Yeah.
Everything you like was always stupid. You just haven't used your
Nostalgia's
time
a hell of
looking up
a hell of a
stupid
drug. I think people really, I think a big part of it is that people don't want to feel stupid about having liked something. Like, they feel like if they don't like it anymore, then it invalidates their previous feelings. And it's like, you're not in that time anymore, you know? Like, you are a new person now. By the way, this spider is creepy as fuck. This is, like, way grosser than Goma.
Yeah, this is Aragoma. This one's like an actual
This is
spider.
like,
It's disgusting.
this is like arachnophobia warning, like,
Yeah.
for real.
I did not remember it being this gross, but yeah, arachnophobia.
Fucking Resident Evil ass.
They don't do bosses like this anymore. I was
I
like,
remember,
shocked. I was shocked that the new Resident Evil had a giant spider in it. Like, I haven't had these since the PS1 games. It's crazy. Didn't even have them in the remakes.
In a Nintendo Power magazine I had when I was like 9 or 10, they had, like, because they were doing the RE remake on GameCube, and they had like a splash page with the spider, and I remember being like so grossed out by it that I would like skip over that page in the magazine, like, can't look at this.
I feel so. I know that Wind Waker's development was cut short, and they said they reused some of their scrap dungeon ideas for Twilight Princess. I think this is probably one of them, just because of like the theming of the thing, it being the Temple of Time, and because like Wind Waker is also a sequel to Ocarina, so it's a callback in that way. But also, Wind Waker has a lot of really straightforward dungeon design, to the point that they're all kind of mindless and easy and boring to me. Like, they were maybe fun as a kid, but like now I really don't care for Wind Waker's dungeons. And this one is better than most of those, but it is like very linear, and it also has another gimmick that almost all the Wind Waker dungeons have, which is you use this magic rod to make the statues follow you around. That's like every dungeon in Wind Waker. You have a companion, or you control a magic statue to do everything.
Yeah, it definitely reminds me of the Wind Waker dungeons mechanically.
And not to mention the Dark Nut being the mini boss.
Aesthetically, it feels very Ocarina of Time, spirit dungeon.
Yeah, I think this dungeon is probably like they had all the layout and the puzzles and everything designed already for Wind Waker and decided to reuse that and just revamp it to fit Twilight Princess aesthetics. That's what it feels like. I have no like actual evidence to support this. That's just vibes.
Alright, well, I'm glad that gross ass spider is done.
Or is it?
Oh shit. I'm watching the stream on YouTube, so I'm not seeing whatever you're seeing live.
It's yucky.
Yeah, this is a grotesque boss. Giving Dark Souls.
I remember when the Wii U was coming out and they showed this funny tech demo video of Twilight Princess Link fighting Aragoma, and it looked really pretty. And then the next Zelda game was Breath of the Wild, and people thought that they made Link a girl because he was so effeminate.
Oh.
It was like a whole like repeat of the Wind Waker drama. No, they made another cartoon video game. Fuck.
Yeah, no, I feel like a lot of fans like go into stuff like looking for something to hate.
Yeah.
Like they're expecting disappointment, and so they go into it with like, all right, how is this gonna disappoint me? You know.
I feel strongly that enjoying things is a skill, and I've been
That's
trying.
true.
I've been trying for almost a year now to write a video about that doesn't make me sound like a pretentious cunt.
No, it's like I've said before, like with Sword Art Online, for instance, like I think I could like learn to like it.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't want to do that. There's no like real benefit, but I think you can always acquire a taste for something and like figure out what's likable about it.
Yeah, I've done it many times. I did that that was what I did with like Disney Star Wars, because I used to be one of the haters, and then I just like listened to a couple videos by people who sincerely like liked the new movies, and I was like, oh, I didn't consider this perspective. That's really cool, actually. It's just when you watch the movies in bad faith, it's really easy to point out all the stuff that sucks.
Yeah.
But if you watch them in good faith and just try to imagine, like, okay, if I was someone who liked this, what is there to like it? Like, just analyze it like any other movie, and don't go into it with any kind of like other notion,
I've gotten a lot of that from being with Bird, where like
Yeah.
before being with him, I think I was way more of a cynical media consumer, and like the fact that he just unabashedly likes lots of stuff, made me try to look for like, well, why?
He's not ashamed of it. He's not defensive. He's just like, yeah, this is really cool, and it makes you go, oh,
yeah,
you can just do that.
Yeah, well, because he doesn't really even notice the like. Bird's the type of person who's very sure of himself, so whatever he thinks is true, he's like, well, that's obviously true, you know? And, like, if somebody else says differently, it's not going to make him think, oh, I was wrong. It's going to make him think you're wrong, you know? Like, for instance, The Boys Season 5. He loved it. He had no problems with it at all, you know? And, like, every week I would see Brody with a new video that's like, Boys Season 5 fucking sucks, this shit's mid, you know?
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of other videos saying the same thing, or that, like, it's gone downhill since the end of Season 3, and, like, he was just like, I don't know, the whole thing was cool, like, I don't get it. So, like, yeah, the public opinion is never going to dissuade him. But the funniest thing to me was, like, we talked about before how he got me into the MCU, where, like, I had been under the impression those movies are bad because I only listened to, like, snobby critics talk about them, you know? And it's like, you know, the snobby critics make it out like, oh, well, you know, general audiences are just stupid and they just want to see, you know, hype moments and aura, so to speak. And then, you know, watching them with Bird, I'm like, no, these movies are legitimately good. And, like, I don't think Bird would like them if they weren't legitimately good, you know? It's just a matter of what bothers you or what doesn't bother you. And, like, you know, for him, it's like, if something is pressing the right buttons, there's very little that's going to take him out of it, you know? Whereas for me, it's like, I've had to kind of learn more so to just go, oh, well, that's a little annoying, but, like, I don't care, you know? I'm not going to let that ruin my experience.
Not going to ruin my day.
Yep, exactly. I was going to say it, my favorite Yu Yu Hakusho quote. Oh, well, not going to let it ruin my day. So fucking good. I think about it all the time.
Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho rules. Gotta watch that again sometime.
Big agree.
I've watched like the first 30 episodes 100 fucking times, but I want to watch the whole thing again.
It is all solid. The last arc ends a bit abruptly, but still has some intrigue in it.
Yeah, we were talking about what the fuck is it? God damn it. My brain gets scrambled when I have to read in this game.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I do still feel like I have trouble finding things that I will, like, really enjoy. And then, like, when they're over, I immediately feel like, well, back to the drawing board, you know? Like, oh, I found something I really enjoy, and then it's, like, blast through it, and now it's gone, and now I have to find another one, but...
That's gonna be me when I finish Sonic Frontiers. I'm gonna be like, fuck! Now what do I do with my life?
Yeah, it is, like, a magical feeling when I do come across that thing. Like, right now, it's been interesting with anime. Like, I never feel like I'm going to be able to find an anime I will want to watch, like, on my own. But every time I assign something for Whams and we watch it, I almost always end up enjoying it. And it's like, why do I have such a hard time thinking I'm going to enjoy something, even though I usually do, you know, if I actually, like, take the time. I feel like I'm always waiting to be convinced. Somebody's gonna convince me I'm gonna like something, but
Yeah.
I rarely am convinced.
I just have a weird thing where I'm like, if I feel like, okay, like for instance, The Boys, if I feel like that's someone else's thing that they're really into and I'm not really into it, I just have such a hard time caring. Like, I don't motivate myself to get into it because I'm like, well, it's not really my thing. Like, it feels way more satisfying when it feels like I discovered something on my own, or like I don't know, or if it just resonates with me first, usually, like, oh, this is my shit, I gotta share this with people, you know, that's way more motivating to me than, like I think of The Boys, I think that's like, oh, that's Josh's thing, or that's Brody's thing, like, I tried watching it and I didn't really get into it. I did watch the finale with Josh, though, that was funny. It was really bad.
I actively dislike The Boys, but not because of the reasons of, like, it getting any worse, I just don't like it. Period. I don't like what it stands for. I don't like its attitude.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny and kind of interesting at first, and then I got really bored in season 2, and I watched the finale with Josh, and there's like a moment where one of the characters says like, oh, I'm not going anywhere near Homelander. He'll rip my tits off through my vag, and I'm like, was the show always this cringe?
Yeah, I like... So, like, Bird loved season 5, I think mostly because it has Daveed Diggs in it as the mega church guy. And he and I are both huge Daveed Diggs fans. Immediately after finishing The Boys, Bird went and marathoned all of Snowpiercer, in which Daveed Diggs is the main character, and was like, this is my new second favorite show after Hell on Wheels. Hell on Wheels is Bird's baby. You ever heard of Hell on Wheels?
I don't think so. Maybe.
It's a 5-season show that's about the building of the Transcontinental Railroad at the end of like the 1800s, and it's very interesting. But Bird has always insisted that it's his favorite show, and he's watched it like 5 or 6 times. And it happens to be heavily about a train, and then Snowpiercer is also about a society on a train, and now both of his favorite shows are about a train, about society as it pertains to a train.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've seen Snowpiercer. The movie's pretty neat.
Yeah, the show is very different from the film, but personally, like, I overheard a lot of him watching it and was like, yeah, this seems fine. This is the kind of thing I would watch and go, yeah, that was fine. You know, like, I don't think I'd be like, oh my god, this is my favorite show. But I also can't remember the last time I felt that way. Like, I legit cannot remember when last I watched a television program and thought it was amazing. Or a movie, for that matter. Like, I can remember, like, 4 years ago, like, being pretty blown away by Scarface and Carrie. Like, then having never seen them and being like, oh, these movies are fucking badass. And The Thing. But I can't think of one time since then that I've been, like, knocked off my feet by a film. Plenty of stuff was really good.
Yeah.
But not that level of, like, this shook me, you know?
Yeah, I felt that in like 2023 and 2024, there were quite a few really fucking good movies coming out, and 2025, I got like none of that. Like, there was not a single movie that really blew me away, and everyone was like, 2025 is like the best year for movies we've had in forever. I'm like, no, fuck y'all, I don't care.
Yeah, I didn't see anything that year that shook me on that level, but I also don't really like the kinds of movies that most people like.
Yeah.
So it's not too shocking. Actually, you know what? I do remember the last movie that shook me, but it wasn't like, oh, I love this to death. It was more of like, this is the most interesting thing I've ever seen, and that was Cloud Atlas. Do you know Cloud Atlas?
I think you talked about it before, yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. It is the most of a movie that a movie has ever been. It's like 6 different interlocking films that are all different genres in different time periods, but using the same actors. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, I've really been missing that feeling of like watching something that feels like a big deal to me.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of the reasons I've been so depressed is just there hasn't, like, until now that I'm playing Sonic games, there hasn't been anything hitting me that hard. Like oh wow, this like really makes me happy and enjoy life. It's just
Yeah.
like a friend came over and she showed me some of her favorite zombie movies in recent memory, and I thought one of them was pretty decent and the other one was boring as fuck. Those were 28 Years Later and its direct sequel, The Bone Temple. I was just kind of like bored and empty at the end, and like she's like, yeah, we just kind of have to get through 28 Years Later so you can see the really good one, which is The Bone Temple. And I'm like, The Bone Temple sucked. I don't know what to tell you.
Damn.
Like, I hated almost every character in it except the guy who was in the other movie. just kind of a sad time.
Yeah, I
extra sad
tend to
when it's, like,
find that,
hyped up for you.
particularly in the world of film, it feels like bummer movies get like the most recognition, and I'm always like, I really don't want to see a bummer movie. Like, I don't get the hype for a movie making you feel bad.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a feeling I'm looking to get from a movie.
Yeah, I tend to lean more towards the fun stuff. It's like try to think like what my favorite movies were in the last couple years, and I'm like, there was The Good Robot. That one made me cry profusely a few times, and it was really fucking cute and pretty, well animated. And there was I don't know, there was the Spider-Verse 2 that came out a couple years ago. Barbie was one of the most fun theater experiences of all time. I don't know, like, I felt like there was a lot of exciting stuff coming out, and then last year, I'm like, the closest I got to being like, oh, this movie really hits close to home with me. Like, nothing really did that, but the one that came closest was K-Pop Demon Hunters, which is a movie for children, and that's just kind of sad.
I think we've talked about it together before, but like, that movie did not hit with me at all the first time I tried to watch it.
Yeah.
And then the second time it was like way more, I was just paying better attention to it and had like a way better time.
Yeah, the first time you were like comparing it to like Powerpuff Girls and Totally Spies, and I'm like, I think it's a bit better than those.
Well, I don't know, those are both good shows. Powerpuff Girls in particular is a good show.
It is a good show.
It was I compared it to those and Metalocalypse. And it was less so a feeling of like I didn't consider that a negative comparison. It was just like, oh, I've already experienced this. Like, I already have this in my life, and this feels like it's for like a younger generation to enjoy these tropes that I've already, got a frame of reference for. I do think it starts off feeling a lot more generic than it ends up feeling as it goes. And so, like, I just, from the first, 20-30 minutes, just thought, like, oh, I've seen all of this before, and I kind of tuned it out after that. And then watching it back, it's like, oh, actually, right after those first 30 minutes is when it starts getting interesting and does a little bit more with the characters and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the same character tropes as Powerpuff Girls, where you've got like the leader and the cute silly one and the mean one, but like,
yeah,
to me with K-Pop Demon Hunters, it instantly hooked me because it also had the extra layer of like, oh, it's like gay parallels. They do the whole thing with like the identity crisis where like I was born different and I'm ashamed of it.
Yeah.
Just like that's enough. Like it's nothing new. It's nothing like that shakes me to my core anymore. But it's enough for me to be like, okay, I can connect to this on a personal level. It's good enough. Yeah.
I connected with it not through any kind of gay parallel, just because I can find that in anything. But like, particularly the fact that I had like just quit weed not too long before watching it. I'm sure I talked about this already somewhere, but like, I got like my singing voice back. Like, it was something that I'd been struggling with, of like, I always end up coughing and all this shit, and like just having a much harder time singing. And like, just being addicted to something made me feel like I was getting, further and further away from my sense of self, so to speak. And so like watching the way it happens with her, where like she loses her voice and she's like trying to kind of like, I wasn't like hiding being addicted to weed, but I understood the feelings she was having of like, oh, I feel like I'm a monster and like it's ruining my self-confidence and my ability to do the thing I like am the most passionate about, and then when she accepts herself and puts all that behind her, she literally gets her singing voice back, and I was like, okay, now I totally get this, like this feels more like my experience. And I also think I had just considered the romantic plot to be like just a generic romance the first time I watched it, and I just really wasn't paying attention. Like I didn't catch the whole undercurrent of what that guy's story is and like what he's really doing in the movie.
Yeah.
Still like a 8 out of 10, but that's better than a 6, which is what I think I originally had written it off as.
Yeah. I really loved it right off the bat. It's just, I don't know. It's just a good time. To go back to the fucking bar, like seriously. Isabel's
Trying to
here.
think if there's trying to think of anything else I've done besides Dragon Quest and Lufia and all my fucking streams and shit.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look up Lufia after the stream, because that sounds right up my alley. That, and also that funny game that I posted about in the Discord, the mouse game. Was it like Mina the Hollower?
Oh yeah,
or something?
Mina the Hollower.
Yeah.
That's been a big source of hype on my timelines for the last couple days.
It's funny because I just found out about it and it releases on Steam today.
Yeah, I had assumed it was already out just because I saw so much about it.
Yeah. I think it was out on Nintendo stuff like a few months ago. Which is odd. I mean, the original Shovel Knight came out on the Wii U before it came out on anything else, if I remember right.
Interesting. Yeah, I never got into Shovel Knight. I think I remember playing the first stage and then just being like, this is not my type of a game.
Yeah. I loved it when it was new, when I was like a teenager, because I was like, oh, it's like Zelda Mega Man, it's so cool. And then the Spectre Knight expansion came out, and I played that when I was a little older, and I realized that, yeah, this game is like slow as shit. It's so much of it is just picking up gems. Just like everything you touch, everything you break drops a ton of gems, and you have to pick them all up, and your character's really slow. So I just got kind of sick of it. It's really cool.
From what
of
I've
them
seen
to
of
release
Mina
so
the
many, like,
Hollower,
free expansions
like,
for it, but like, yeah, it's not.
Mina looks like if you just combined Link's Awakening and Bloodborne into one game.
I love the Game Boy Color vibes it's got going on. I just love Game Boy games. They're fucking cool.
I'm definitely amused by how much like hype there is around it, because I think obviously the fact that Shovel Knight was such a big deal has created some of that. Because I guess I'm just wishing that more hype was directed at the game Alabaster Dawn, which, even in fairness, I have not played since buying it, but the demo was really cool, and like much like Crosscode before it from the same developers, it's one of those games where I immediately thought, oh, this is like an all-time classic, and nobody's gonna, it's like gonna be the slowest word of mouth like growth before it's like well known, and then like seeing something like Mina the Hollower just come out and immediately it's like everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, how do you produce this level of hype?
Isabel says, I
Guess
love
if I knew
Zelda,
it.
but I don't like almost any games that are trying to be like Zelda. I agree, but I have just a tiny bit more faith in Mina the Hollower because I saw some like interview thing where the devs said they took influence from the aesthetics of the Dragon Quest games on Game Boy. And I'm like mad autistic for Dragon Quest, so that's a good sign. That tells me like, oh, these guys know ball.
I've mostly heard that it's hard as fuck, which makes me go, nope, I'm not trying to play a hard as fuck Game Boy game.
The fuck? What do I do with this thing? God fucking damn it! I just. Ugh. Fuck you. What do I do? I didn't read the text. God damn it.
Hype moments and aura. I feel like I must be a pretty tough person to recommend things to.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything that you know of that I need to experience that I have never talked about?
Oh god, I have no idea.
If anybody in chat has something. I know Isabel was encouraging me to watch Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie earlier this year. I haven't done that yet.
That happens to me too. Every time Isabel sees like a really good movie, she DMs me about it, like, go watch this. And sometimes I do, and it's consistently been a good time. It's like, oh, what was that movie from last year? One Battle After Another. That one was a really fun time.
Yeah, that one's funny because of the reviews I saw, they were all either like incredibly positive or incredibly negative.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't look like my type of a movie. Just on the surface. Then again, I'm not sure what my type of a movie is. Like, besides Speed Racer, I don't like no sure thing. Speed Racer and Ponyo. I guess my type of a movie is just like non-stop joy and big bright colors. Like, if you can make a movie that just keeps a smile on my face the whole time, then that's what I'm looking for. What is happening in the plot of this game right now?
I don't even know. I'm supposed to jog Ilya's memory and cure her amnesia so that she can help me figure out the secret word to activate these magic statues, and that'll like power up the Dominion rod I just got, so that I can find a city in the sky. Because apparently that's where the last mirror shard is. It's somewhere in the sky, and I have no idea what the fuck I'm supposed to do to get her memory back, and it's pissing me off.
She's Casca coded.
I've got Zelda Dungeon open in another tab now.
Oh yeah! I just remembered I did consume something I really liked the other night. I knew I was forgetting something. There's a manga called Someone Hurts, Hertz, that we are reviewing on the next WAMs. And have you heard of this at all?
Goddamn, I'm supposed to be back in the castle town. No, I have not heard of that.
So,
Oh, shit,
Someone
that
Hurts... What's happening?
Said I don't know shit about fuck. I live in my sonic
Oh.
bubble. I'm on a different planet, and the planet is called Mobius.
Sonic Planet. Yeah, if you're a WAMs follower, you know, read Someone Hurts. We'll be talking about the first 30 chapters on Sunday night. It's a Shonen Jump manga, a romantic comedy that started toward the end of last year. And the premise is that the main character is this guy who's like the top of his class. He's the student council president. He excels at everything he does. But he's a big fan of this late night radio comedy show where basically they give you a prompt and the listeners email in like a one-liner joke in response to this prompt. So maybe the prompt will be like, you know, what do you call a picky figure skater or something? And then everybody like writes a one-line joke of what their interpretation of like what that person would be like, basically. And he's a big fan of this radio show, but he keeps submitting jokes every week and they never get read on air. So he's like distraught that the one thing he's not good at is being funny. And there's a cute girl in his class who also is a fan of the radio show, and the two of them talk about it all the time. And she's constantly cracking jokes, constantly with one-liners and stuff. And of course, he comes to figure out that she is like the most popular submitter to this show, who he's been like admiring for a year now, and like secretly wanted to be just like this person. And he realizes, oh, it's the cute girl in my class. And she says something about how she could never fall in love with someone unless they're funnier than her. So this sets up the idea that, like, basically, I mean, he's not like trying actively to win her affection. He's just trying to like get Red on the show and be funny. But like low key, she is watching him progress and realizing like, oh shit, he is really funny. Maybe I'm falling in love with this guy because he's really funny. And so it's like she's kind of coaching him on how to like submit funnier stuff and get Red on the show. And yeah, it's mostly just about the two of them like cracking jokes, making ridiculous number of references, only about a fourth of which I actually get because they're very Japanese, and a lot of it's like language puns that don't really translate. Yeah. So half the time I'm reading this, I'm like, okay, I didn't understand what that meant, but when the jokes do land, they're really funny. And more than that, though, it's just fucking adorable. And particularly just the fact that the two main characters bond over the fact that they are big fans of a radio show and like always trying to get Red on the air is like super relatable to me in particular, considering that Bird and I met because we're both fans of an internet show that I was a caller in on. So yeah, like big time me-core in a way that not a lot of manga is. So was very excited to discover a manga that I could personally appreciate. Tried recommending it to Butthole Weeb because he's really into romantic comedies, and he basically acted like he was too good for it, and I was like, you motherfucker. Go back to watching Agents of the Fourth Season, that piece of trash anime you tried to convince us was good. Isabel said, I tend to agree the most with Shade in y'all's music reviews, at least the Bully and Iceman ones. I gave Bully a 3 and Iceman a 4. I think I also gave Bully a 3 or a 4 and gave Iceman a 1. Iceman's fucking horrible. But we reviewed Michael Jackson's Thriller this week, and that edit will come out tomorrow.
Sick.
And Shade gave that an absolute 10. And I gave it an 8. Even like it's obviously a 10 if we're talking like about cultural metric, but
yeah,
for my personal enjoyment, it's like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, Thriller's pretty good.
Have you listened to that whole album before?
The whole album. I've heard the Michael Jackson songs that are the really, really famous ones. I don't actually
a lot of them are on there. Thriller and Beat It and Billie Jean are all directly in a row on this album, which is maybe the most like legendary 3-song stretch of any album.
I think Billie Jean might be my favorite out of the bunch. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Billie Jean is amazing, and it is his most popular song. Isabel says, I think I would give Thriller an 8, but it's like a low 8. The 3 best songs are like 1,000 out of 10. Yeah, that's more or less my take. And next week we're reviewing Psychic Warfare by Clutch, which is a very fun kind of honestly, it's basically butt rock, but like the best butt rock. I think I called it dork rock on the announcement. There's a YouTuber called Finn McKenty who used to call them a divorced dad band, and that checks out.
This part of the game is stupid. Just have to wait around for it to be nighttime.
That is lame. I need to give you like a bench you can sit on to pass time or something.
Yeah. If only I had like a magic ocarina that could change it from day to night and night to day, that'd be nice. Oh well. It's the one thing this fucking game is missing. I don't have a real instrument. I just blow on grass like some kind of twat, some kind of country bumpkin. Oh yeah, there's a thing I watched recently that I forgot about. Mostly because it's not that noteworthy. But a new Star Wars movie came out like a week ago.
Oh yeah, Mandalorian and Grogu. You saw it.
Yeah, the Mandible and
You
Grimace.
said it was fine and fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was about on par with one of the like okay-ish Marvel movies where you're like, I had a fun time. Then you go home and you forget everything that happened the next day. It's like Ant-Man.
I'm trying to think
yeah.
of what's the best example of that.
Ant-Man
What is the most?
Or Thor 1 maybe?
Yeah,
Captain America
Thor 1's
1.
not even. I don't really care for Thor 1 very much, but
Okay. Then Ant-Man is probably the best example where I'm like, I don't
That-
regret
yeah.
watching that, but I don't care.
I don't remember like anything. The only thing I can remember about Ant-Man 1 is how evident it is when you get to the scenes that Edgar Wright directed
Yeah.
that are still in the movie, and they feel so fucking different from the rest of the movie.
Basically,
It's like
anytime
maybe
Ant-Man's
15
friend
minutes.
starts talking.
Yeah, there's like a solid 15 minutes of Edgar Wright material that is obviously from his directing, and then the rest of it's like a totally different movie.
That shit is so funny. But yeah, I wrote up a little review of Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm gonna try to like edit that, try to release it either tonight or tomorrow. It'll probably be tomorrow because I kind of want to make a little intro for it. Like, you know, are you familiar with the Cosmonaut Variety Hour?
Yes.
Yeah, he has those videos called Cosmonaut Quickie. He has like the little 2-second intro. It's like Cosmonaut Quickie, and then he just reviews something in like 5 minutes. That's what I want to
Yeah.
do. Brody said I should make videos like that and call them gigabytes, and I'm like, okay, that's too good.
It is a really good idea.
Like gigabyte.
I kind of low-key can't stand those Cosmonaut Quickie videos, but he's just one of those reviewers who has like rules in his head that he will talk about them like, this is the rules of how writing good, and I'm like, I just disagree, you know?
Oh yeah, I disagree with his takes all the time. I just find it entertaining. He's like one of my go-to guys when I'm like, I want to know, like there's a thing that's in the zeitgeist right now, and I want to know what the popular opinion is. I usually go to either Cosmonaut or Shea Frillis Productions.
Honestly,
they're
I don't
both, like-
watch anything like that anymore. I'm thinking about it and realizing I haven't watched a movie review in like a super long time.
Well, I've been ignoring a lot of them lately because there's just nothing good coming out. But like, if I was
I used to like
invested-
religiously watch like YMS and Red Letter Media, but I have totally stopped watching both of them.
I love watching Red Letter Media's reviews because they're just a bunch of fat old guys being like, yeah, we watched this movie and it was a movie, I guess. I feel like other reviewers on YouTube take shit so seriously. They're like, the Mandalorian and Grogu means Star Wars as a franchise is dead. And I'm like, instead I'm like, well, whatever, fuck. I click on Half in the Bag and they're like, yeah, why did this movie exist? That didn't need to be made. That was weird. They're just kind of normal about it.
Star Wars and Jaws.
Dogs are found buried under the ground near the Goron by the South Road. Okay, fucking asking.
Yeah, I've kind of gotten... I feel like trapped in the YouTube infrastructure in a way because like I've gotten used to always having something to watch on YouTube, and therefore I tend to open YouTube and try to watch something all the time, but there's just not very much that actually I actually give a fuck about at this point, and I feel guilty about like listening to too many videos about shit I don't really care about. Because I will do it, you know, like I'll just, because a creator I like made a video, I'll be like, well, at least it'll be, you know, this guy talking about it. But then I'll get like 15 minutes into a 45-minute video and be like, why am I listening to this? I literally don't care at all about this fucking subject.
It's really funny. Isabella X Cosmonaut Variety Hour? Yeah. She says, YMS kind of taught me that it's okay to be openly autistic in specific ways that I was really self-conscious of. He just actively does, shamelessly.
That's true. He is very shameless, and I appreciate that about him.
When I think of YMS being shameless, I think of his like Saw review, where he's talking about like one of the movies starts with a trap where like two people have to compete, see how much weight they can cut off of their bodies to like tilt a scale. So like one of them will die when the time runs out. It's just whoever loses the most weight wins. And so like a lady like cuts her whole arm off and beats the big fat guy who's just like cutting pieces of his fat off. And YMS was like, why don't you just pee into it or make yourself throw up? And he's like, I can throw up on command. And without any
I knew
warning
this was the
whatsoever,
example you were going to use.
he just cuts to footage of him in the woods going, you just use your stomach like a lung, and then and he barfed all over himself, and it made me want to
legitimately that advice has done wonders for me, because
so fucking gross.
I have always been like, no matter how much I feel like I need to throw up, I've always had like a strong mental resistance to doing it. And him giving that advice helped me to like learn how to make myself throw up, like if I need to, you know.
I can make myself throw up without doing it like that. Like I've never figured out how to do it the way he does it. Just like stick your fingers in the back of your throat and trigger your gag reflex.
That is the better, easier easier way.
Yeah, bro was like doing it hands free. He just goes burp and then fucking barfs. It was nasty. I couldn't believe that he like showed it. He's just standing in the woods with his shirt off.
Yeah, he's definitely a pioneer, but his taste is so different from mine that like his takes don't usually do that much to
yeah, like
help
I
me out
usually
or
don't
anything.
have a problem watching reviews that I disagree with. Like if they're entertaining, that's all I care about. But in the case of YMS, he has some goofy fucking takes that just I don't know. Sometimes they're just out there. Like he doesn't like it anytime a movie has like music with lyrics in it playing in the background. He just thinks that's inherently corny, and I can't relate to that feeling at all.
Yeah. No, me neither. Damn, I'm trying to think, like, who is there, like, a YouTuber currently that I'm, like, enthusiastic about? Not in the last week, at least. I mean, I really like Torre, but even he's been mostly talking about, like, how Drake sucks, and, pointing out how this one, like, TV doctor lady is not a real doctor, which is entertaining, but it's not really relevant to me. I'm just like, yeah, I'm watching it because you make entertaining videos about it. Oh, I guess the new Reckless Ben is really fucking amazing. The arc he's on. Have you ever heard of Reckless Ben?
No.
Reckless Ben is, in my opinion, far and away the greatest YouTuber of all time. Like, not even a contest, not even close. His videos are on a different level from anybody else. And most of them have been about, like, infiltrating cults. Like, basically he's just an incredibly, like a daredevil guy. Like, he's a slackliner. He just does all kinds of, like, crazy shit. But he will make these videos where he like goes undercover, infiltrates a cult for a while, and just like leaks all their information and plays big pranks on them, like massive epic pranks. And his latest video is a 90-minute video called like "We Caught the Thief of the Biggest Lego Collection in History" or something like that.
Oh, I got that in my feed. That's funny.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Okay. It's 90 minutes and compelling all the way through, and it's only part one of a series. But basically the plot is that there's a guy who, this old man had the biggest Star Wars Lego collection like in the world or whatever, and it's like worth like $200,000 of Star Wars Legos. And there's a, did I tell you about this already? I feel like I did.
I don't think so.
Okay. There's a store, like a franchise called Bricks and Minifigs that I guess is like one of the biggest like resellers of Legos. Like you can sell your Legos to them and they sell, you know, used Lego kits or whatever. And they're all over the country. So this old man is like in poor health, and he's like, I need to get rid of my Lego collection so I can pass down the money to my like grandkids so they can go to college type shit. So he makes a consignment deal with the local Bricks and Minifigs where basically they're going to hold on to his collection, and every time they sell something from it, he gets a cut of that until it's all sold. But right after he like gives them the collection, the woman who's in charge of that particular store like retires and a new person takes over, and the new person basically just pretends like that deal never happened and they don't know what you're talking about. We've always had these Legos. And so the old man's son, who's like probably my age or a little older, gets in contact with Reckless Ben and is basically like, I've been trying to like get the police involved in this and they won't do anything about it for some reason. Like they just won't acknowledge our problem at all. Like we tried to go to corporate, nothing's working. And so Reckless Ben just kind of takes up this job of like, all right, I'm going to figure out how to get you your Legos back. And it ends up turning into just a fucking saga of like how much these fucking people do not want to acknowledge this or give back these Legos. And like, this doesn't happen in part 1, but in they've hinted a little bit at part 2 because it's out on Patreon, and like Ben ends up getting arrested. Like he's dealing with the cops a lot. Like they're basically exposing like a whole corruption of the local police department of this town. Bricks and Minifigs is currently like getting just absolutely shitted by the community because this video is up to like 1.6 million views, and it's essentially just an expose of this entire corporation being like horrible, like run by a fucking just a total piece of shit. Yeah. By the end of part 1 of the video, well, I don't know if I want to spoil it.
I'll probably watch it.
No, I won't
anyway.
spoil it. Yeah. I won't spoil it for anybody who doesn't want it to be spoiled, but like it's really good. It's 90 minutes and it's thoroughly entertaining, and I would honestly recommend all of Reckless Ben's videos. They're all like, every time he makes a video, because he'll disappear for like a long while and then come back, and it's kind of like, here's what I was doing, and it's always like the most insane shit I've ever seen. So yeah, he's my favorite. I feel like I don't talk about him very often because there's such long gaps between his content, but I think he might be the greatest filmmaker of our generation. Because for me, as somebody who can't really sit through movies, a 90-minute YouTube video that feels that has like a compelling narrative is like, well, this is what I really want. This is what a movie is to me, you know. This is absolute cinema.
Sounds pretty epic. I mean, I like Legos, so I feel like that would be very easy for me to get emotionally invested in.
That was why I felt this is the one. Like, if any Reckless Ben video was gonna get you in, this was gonna be it.
Yeah, it literally popped up in my recommended feed. Because YouTube knows how I feel about Lego, because I've like watched videos about Lego before, though I haven't done that in a while because they got too expensive, and because Lego YouTubers can be extremely cringe, like extraordinarily so. Like I kind of like make a reference to one of them in my Mandalorian review that I've written up, because it was like this guy at Emendar Productions, and he's kind of like, in like Lego fandom spaces online, he can be a bit infamous because most of his reviews of Legos are like he's very passionate about Lego Star Wars, and he complains a lot about Lego Star Wars. He's clearly got money because he's just got like tons and tons and tons of Lego sets, and he's very picky about the way they design the Clone Trooper minifigures, and he kind of takes credit for like more Clone Trooper sets getting made, because he thinks that him making videos and advocating for like, we need like more of the 501st troopers, we need specifically Anakin Skywalker's 501st fucking troops, those are like the coolest ones, they need to make more battle packs of those characters. And Lego makes like a couple battle packs of those particular clone troopers, and they make like a $1 gazillion, and I don't know, it's just fucking goofy, and I don't care. Like,
well,
like,
I do think that's the motivation for a lot of people, is like to affect the thing that they care about. That's a big part of why it's so hard for me to want to talk about anime, is that I don't think I can affect it. Like, I can affect the way that fans feel about it, but I can't affect the way that it's like going to be handled at all.
Yeah.
Like the industry is so set in its ways, and like there's been evolution and like new stuff, but it's also, you know, an entirely different country, a language I don't really speak, and like you know, I feel like there's other industries where you can be pretty effective. Like that guy probably did inspire Lego to do that. You know, if he got like millions of views talking about it, then, you know, smart industries are paying attention to what YouTube has to say about them. And like in the anime world, like there was a time where Crunchyroll like had a guy who was paying attention to YouTube stuff, but like it didn't have any effect on how anything's done. You know. It's just, whereas like with video games, I feel like there's plenty of times where like the community gets listened to and like directly affects what's going to be updated in the game, you know?
Yeah. It's just funny when I hear it happen specifically with like the guy who talks about the Lego Star Wars, because, you know, Lego was primarily a toy for children, and they have been capitulating more and more to the adult market since adults have money and are more than willing to buy expensive fucking toys. It's just really... I know the guy is obnoxious when I can recall all of the buzzwords he would say over and over and over again while complaining about clone troopers.
Saying, I don't like that the helmets have holes in them. Stop putting holes in the helmets. I know they're for clipping accessories on, but the holes are ugly. At least move them up a little bit. The holes are weird. The holes. All he's talking about is holes. Or it's either the holes or the pauldron. He says pauldron a lot. He says, I want cloth shoulder pauldrons. Yeah. Stop just painting them on the figure. I want cloth shoulder pauldrons. The pauldrons. It's like pauldron is not a real fucking word anymore because motherfucker said it 1,000 times while talking about toys.
Yakuman said, finally back from my chud job after a long day of work slop. Glad I caught my favorite Quirk Chungus live.
Yeah. Yakuman
we
cool.
need new slang. I know that we get new slang like every year, but I want it to happen even faster. I want like everything to be incomprehensible to me every 6 months or so. Like as soon as I start feeling like I understand the slang, I'm like, this has gotten tired.
Yeah.
I'm in my 30s. I'm not supposed to understand what children are saying anymore. Like,
should watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Mutant Mayhem. The movie that was made with actual teenagers, and they used all sorts of slang that was current a couple years ago. I want to see how fast that movie dated itself.
I saw that in theater. It was great.
I did too. It was a good time. I watched some of the interviews and with Seth Rogen. He's like, yeah, we had the kids like riffing on each other, and one of them said Riz, and we were like, what is Riz? What is that? Use that in the movie.
I'm pretty sure they make a reference to doing something the Aki way in that movie.
Yeah, one of the turtles is like a fan of Attack on Titan. It's pretty funny. I like it when they acknowledge things that children are actually into.
Roblox. Why isn't there a Roblox movie yet?
I'm sure it'll happen, don't worry. The Mario Galaxy movie just came out. You gotta give it some time.
Maybe they're trying to decide if it'll be in live action or in Roblox animation style.
Remember Minecraft Story
Mode?
Saw that shit advertised on Netflix all the time. What a nightmare. Minecraft is a nightmare.
Agreed.
I very much see Minecraft as I find it very depressing and repetitive, isolating in a bad way. I like games that are isolating in a good way. I like Metroid. I don't like Minecraft.
That's interesting to me because almost everybody I know who plays Minecraft only plays it on like servers with their friends. I don't know anybody who plays single-player Minecraft.
I tried playing it with friends, and it's always boring. It's really weird. Like, we end up what usually happens is we all end up doing something kind of grindy, and then in order to pass the time while doing grindy things, we start talking, and we get so invested in the conversation that when it's time to focus on the game again, we don't want to. We're just like, yeah, like stop playing Minecraft and do something else.
I've always seen it as more of a like excuse to hang out than like a game.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just a place where people are in a call together and playing a game at the same time,
That's the thing,
which is
like,
not my vibe.
I like games like that, but I don't think Minecraft is good for it.
It was really funny and kind of sad because our friend Z Cypher had bought the game Atlas for like a bunch of people in our Discord server, and like when the first day that everybody was playing it, I was playing, and then like very quickly I realized everyone else was in a voice call together while playing, and I was just like, oh no, I don't do that. Like I was hoping we were all gonna be texting each other like through the game chat.
Well, I was
And
doing
so,
that too. But yeah.
I played for like a few hours, and I had a good time. Like I enjoyed the game, but like the feeling of, oh, if I'm gonna play this, it means I'm gonna be in voice calls. It's just like totally sucked me away from it.
I enjoyed it a lot for that reason. Made my fat little gremlin character with the giant dumpy and flew around killing stuff with swords with my friends. That was a good time. It was like the perfect level of like engaging and mindless.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good time.
A really good game.
Yeah.
I will definitely play more of it at some point, but
Yeah.
it wasn't just that it was like on call, but like a bunch of people on a call. Like I can't handle being in a call with more than like 2-3 other people at the most.
True.
Damn, it's 6 o'clock. We probably should wrap up soon.
Yeah. I was gonna try and get to the next dungeon so we could start it immediately, which is not gonna happen. There's still too much to do before the next dungeon, but I can at least... Okay, I got Ilya's charm. That's good enough. We'll restore her memory.
Nice. Yeah, I've more or less run dry my well of things to talk about.
Yeah, I would talk about the Mandalorian and Gugus, but I wrote a whole review of that for it. It's the most unserious review of all time.
I always want like to my dream is that I would be at a rate of like every day consuming something and immediately recording a review of it.
Yeah.
But I have a really hard time finding something I actually want to consume.
Yeah.
Not even that I think I'd be good at like reviewing, but like
You just
that I could
described,
consume in a timely fashion and review it that day, you know?
Yeah. Basically just described Brody's whole YouTube channel. Just like
Brody's doing
something,
exactly what
sits
I've
down.
always considered like the best idea, but I just never have a thing I'm like trying to keep up with like that.
Yeah. What's the shitty part too is that like YouTube kind of pigeonholes you into doing like one thing forever, so it's like
Yeah.
Like if I did a review of K-pop Demon Hunters, YouTube would be like, "Oh, we're gonna show you to like people who watch cartoon reviewers," and it's like I don't want to be someone who watches every shitty Disney movie that comes out. Like I'm not gonna review Moana 2. Fuck off. Don't give.
I would think it
people
would
to
be
me.
even more specific than that. It's only gonna show you to K-pop Demon Hunters fans, and like you can only talk about K-pop Demon Hunters now.
Yeah.
The level of specificity of the YouTube algorithm is completely insane. Like,
Yeah.
it's,
I don't know. I still get like recommended videos of shit I don't give a fuck about. Like I remember the live action Lilo and Stitch came out, and YouTube really wanted me to see like 50 different people's reviews of that movie. I'm like, I don't care. It's a live action Disney remake. I know it's bad. I don't care. It's just what everyone on Earth is talking about, and it's not interesting.
yeah.
All right, Ilya, I've got a fucking whistle. Just whistle.
One day they'll make a show that is. Oh, you know what? They are going to next season. It's Ghost in the Shell. I keep like every time I start thinking, man, when are they gonna make a show that I will definitely want to talk about every week? I keep remembering, oh yeah, Ghost in the Shell starts in probably July. It's just been such a long wait at this point.
Like Dinky is in the chat saying, "Hello, this part sucks." I just saw them playing it in the Discord chat the other day. So wandering around Hyrule going, yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. There's like statues, I think. This part is impossible.
I gotta say, watching you play this game has not made me feel like I want to play it more than I did. It's fine to watch, but it doesn't look like it would be my favorite game to play.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even my favorite Zelda. I just think it's really cool.
Oh my god, she's all happy and shit.
This game just has like a really cozy, warm vibe to it that makes me happy. I like its aesthetic. I swear I talked about this already, but like just I don't know. Everybody's always gassing up Wind Waker, saying, "Oh, Wind Waker aged gracefully, unlike Twilight Princess, which is ugly." And I'm like, no.
I'm definitely more on the Wind Waker camp, but it's not that I think this game has aged poorly. I just don't like the designs very much for the most part.
Yeah. That's like way more reasonable to me. People say like Wind Waker aged so much better. I'm like, I think Wind Waker looks like a GameCube game. Like it looks as old as it is to me. I don't know what they're talking about. Like I don't think it looks bad, but like I don't know. I don't think Wind Waker is like the peak of Zelda aesthetics. It just has really good music.
No.
It's cute and it's charming. It's not the best in my mind.
I do think this game is the most aesthetically popular, though. Like,
oh, for sure. I mean, this was like the one they used as like this just was the brand for over a decade, I think. They used the Twilight Princess designs to represent Link and all sorts of stuff. He was on the cover of every like Zelda product for a long time.
Yeah.
Even after Skyward Sword came out.
Yeah, Skyward Sword's aesthetic is eh.
I like it. I don't love it. It's supposed to look like a watercolor painting, and they did a decent job of that. But Link has giant weird lips, and it's very distracting. Excuse me, Ilya, what do I do now? Queen's Antelma's is in the cellar right now. Okay, so I should talk to the guy again. I fucking wrap this up. Talk to the guy, that should fix the Dominion Rod maybe. And then we can do the rest of the statue quest next time.
Yes.
Now Ilya's memory is the last clue we have to solving the strange puzzle.
I like this book guy.
That I fucking... What? I just fixed Ilya's memory. What do you want me to do? I'm so confused. God damn it. Okay, back to the walkthrough.
Let's say we wrap it up and you can figure this out off stream and then just have it ready on the next one.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that, like...
I feel a need to get up and move around before the sun goes down.
Okay, yeah, this guy is not the guy I need to talk to next, so I can go ahead and save and quit here. Pick it up next time. It's just like go back and forth, go back and forth, go to this town, go to that town.
We slimed, we dolled. I'm probably going to look at pulling clips from these streams sometime soon, because sometimes we just kind of discuss one thing for like 10, 20 minutes, and it's like, that would be a video by itself, probably. Yeah. And some people have told me, like, yeah, if it's just like a 2.5 hour thing that doesn't have like any markings of what it's about, then they're not likely to click on it. But
oh yeah, I watch
I think
like
people knowing what
clips all the time without watching a person's streams. That's like most of Super Eye Patch Wolf's content for me now.
True, same. I do watch a lot of his stream clips, and I don't watch his streams.
No.
All right, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.
Baby.